Weibai nodded. Yeah, but Brother Jiang is pretty busy, so he's left it all to the lawyers. Hua Jingxian. When the court hearing happens, I'm definitely going to sit in. She was someone who loved to be where the action was, especially the kind of action that gave her a thrill. But there was some action she loved to be in on that Simp wouldn't let her join. For instance, right now, after dinner, she wanted to study for finals with Simp and Wei Bai, but was ruthlessly driven away. Maman, your study is so big. Can it fit a third person? Simp, it can't. Hua Jingxian, you're heartless. The heartless Simp packed up the leftover chicken soup for her and pushed her out the door. Goodbye. Clack. The door was shut. Hua Jingxian left happily, carrying the chicken soup. She was just joking around. How could she really want to study with those two? She didn't have the bad habit of being a third wheel. Besides, what's the big deal about studying? For exams, all that matters is not failing. Hua Jingxian was finally gone. Once again, it was just the two of them in the house. Weibai was greatly looking forward to tonight. All his work was arranged. Tonight would be a night of pure studying. This feeling of having nothing else to do, of being able to immerse himself completely in his studies, was just too good. Weibai was already soaring before he even began to study. In preparation for this satisfyingly deep study session, Weibai had made some preparations. He fully charged his laptop and tablet, and threw his phone far away. He showered and changed into comfortable clothes. When he was ready, it was only 7 o'clock. If they went to bed at midnight, they could study for a full 5 hours. What did 5 hours even mean? It had been a long time since he'd had 5 hours of pure, uninterrupted study. As was his habit, he first made a plan. There were 10 major courses this semester. 3 were relatively simple and just required memorization. So, Weibai had printed out the materials that needed to be memorized in advance, and as finals approached, he would memorize a portion each day. Of the other 7, 2 didn't have finals that counted for a large portion of the grade, and the key points for another 2 had already been outlined. The remaining 3 were the tough nuts to crack. He would have to review them from the beginning to find and fill in any gaps. Studying for finals wasn't about staring at one book all day. It required spaced repetition, varying sleep schedules, and constant review. An outstanding performer in the college entrance exams, student Weibai was very experienced in this area. He was confident that, at the very least, he wouldn't fail. Student Xia, do you remember? Last finals, we made full use of the principle of combining self-discipline with mutual accountability, spurring each other on. Weibai looked at Simp, who had just showered and entered the study. Simp, I remember. Every time they completed a task on their plan, they would get a reward, like a head pat, a hug, or a kiss. But the situation then was different from now. Simp thought to herself now, it's probably better not to have any close contact. Otherwise, things could easily get out of hand and affect their studies. Weibai continued, I think we can carry on the fine tradition from last finals. Simp, spur each other on. Weibai, huh? Student Xia's tone seemed a bit strange. What was wrong with spurring each other on? A reasonable reward system helps people enjoy studying more. This was a principle proven by practice. There was nothing wrong with it. Wait a minute. Spur, Sigma, hey, surely student Xia wasn't teasing him with wild ideas again. No, please, he just wanted to study hard tonight. Simp wanted to study hard, too. Her lips curved into a slight smile. Still want to spur each other on? Weibai, I think a person should mainly rely on self-discipline, mutual accountability, and all that. Let's set it aside for now. Simp nodded. Then let's start studying. Weibai, let's study. No head pats, no hugs, and certainly no kisses. Just pure, hard studying. And pure, hard studying was also a form of happiness. Anyone who has reviewed for finals would surely understand. This feeling of having no distractions, of needing to do only one thing, was truly wonderful. They studied for so long that they actually went over time. The two of them didn't finish until 12:30. Afterwards, they spurred each other on a bit, which is to say, they didn't get to sleep until 1. As everyone knows, a college student who doesn't stay up late isn't a real college student. Weibai didn't much like staying up into the wee hours. For him, 1 in the morning already counted as pulling an all-nighter. The consequence of staying up late was that they woke up a little later the next morning. Sometimes, people have to make trade-offs. For example, Wei Bai and Simp, waking up at 9, chose to forego their morning run. Running at this time doesn't count as a morning run. It's a mid-morning run, right? Simp eyes were hazy with sleep. She clearly wasn't fully awake yet. Student Xie, are you still sleepy? Wei Bai asked. Simp, She had slept very well, but she wasn't waking up well. Help me. She hugged him, burying her head in his waist. Wei Bai, huh? How can I help? Should he bring a basin of cold water for student Xie to wash her face? Or should he tickle her? Or maybe blasting mountain songs? A few ideas on how to wake student Xie up quickly popped in Weibo's head. Just then, he heard a cool, languid voice. The whip. Everyone, don't wait for the top of the hour to start studying. You can start at 10:13, and you can also start at 9:36. At 9:36, the whipping session ended, and Weibo launched into his studies with 0-frame startup. At this moment, he was devoid of all other desires, filled only with a burgeoning thirst for knowledge. Weibo must have been studying all day. In dorm room 410, Zhou Yin grumbled after sending several messages without a reply. Ning Wuchao chuckled. To keep his focus, Brother Bo replies to all his messages at once after he's done studying for the night. I'm the same way now, Pan Kong said, looking up. Anyway, it's not like messages are ever about anything important. If it were urgent, they'd call. Zhou Yin was incredulous. You dare not reply to your girlfriend's messages instantly. Pan Kong. Rong Rong is very understanding because she's the same way. Zhou Yin felt his worldview shattering. If Shen Yuan didn't reply to him for a whole day, he'd be anxious enough to turn High University inside out. Zhou Yin. I've never seen anyone date like you. Pan Kong. And I've never seen anyone who feels they have to reply instantly. Zhou Yin. Cafeteria or order delivery? Ning Wuchao. I'll get delivery. I'm craving fried rice noodles. Pan Kong. Then I'll have fried rice noodles too. Zhou Yin. I'll order for us then. Same place as last time. As he spoke, a special notification tone chimed. Ning Wuchao hurriedly tapped it open. Shui Yunxin. Have you eaten? I won 100 on a scratch-off ticket. Let me treat you to a meal. Ning Wuchao replied instantly. Not yet. Shui Yunxin. Meet me at the school gate in 20 minutes. Big Sis will take you out for a feast. Ning Wuchao. Sticker of a nodding bear. Just then, Zhou Yin was placing the order. Mildly spicy? One add naan bread. Ning Wuchao smiled shyly. Don't order for me. I'm eating out. Ning Wuchao changed his clothes and left, leaving Zhou Yin roaring in the dorm. Must be Song Liusi, Pan Kong said, rubbing the back of his neck. Who else could it be? Zhou Yin. Was Chower this happy the last few times Song Liusi asked him out? Damn, don't tell me he's over his slump and is head over heels for Song Liusi again. Does Song Liusi really have that much charm? I really feel bad for Chow. Pan Kong thought so too. The feeling wasn't as strong when they had first started university. But now that they had lived together for a while, they increasingly found Ning Wuchao to be both pitiful and frustrating. Did you order the delivery yet? Pan Kong remembered something more important. Zhou Yin, oh, mildly spicy? Pan Kong, let's go with medium spicy. A little over 10 minutes later, Ning Wuchao arrived at the East Gate. The East Gate was what everyone at High University called the school gate without any qualifier. The other gates were the one near the library, the one by the 365 bus stop, and so on. So, even though Shui Yunxin had just said the school gate when she invited him, he was certain she meant the East Gate. When he arrived, Shui Yunxin wasn't there yet, so he kept looking down the road. Shui Yunxin was never late. But now, with only a minute to go before their agreed time, there was still no sign of her on the campus road. Had she been held up by something? Did she need his help? Ning Wuchao took out his phone, about to send Shui Yunxin a message to ask. Just then, he suddenly felt a weight on his right shoulder. A familiar, cheerful voice sounded by his ear. What are you looking at? Ning Wuchao turned his head and saw Shui Yunxin's face, beaming with a smile. He smiled back. I thought you'd be coming from inside the campus. I just got back from my company, Shui Yunxin said, clearly in a good mood. I had a big win today, and the first thing I thought of was treating you to a meal. What do you think? Big Sis treats you well, right? The first thing she thought of was treating him to a meal. Did this mean that to Senior Shui, he had already become a rather important person? At the very least, a rather important friend? It was already 6 in the evening, but Ning Buochao felt as if he were enveloped in sunlight. Didn't you treat me to barbecue last time? Shui Yunxin said, walking so quickly that she was off campus in just a few steps. So I'm treating you today. What do you want to eat? The sun-like warmth Ning Buochao felt vanished in an instant. So, it was because he had treated her last time, right? She was obsessed with money and loved to earn it, but she hated being indebted to others. Whenever he treated her, she would always treat him back. Today, he had bought her milk tea. The next time they met, she would show up with coffee. That's how friendships worked. It had to be a give and take for it to last. That was the logic. But Ning Buochao found it very hard to get used to. In the past, whenever he went out to eat, watch movies, or go shopping with Song Liusi, he was always the one who paid, and he never felt it was wrong. When you go out with a girl, aren't you supposed to be the one to spend money? But Shui Yunxin's actions told him that wasn't the case. Why wasn't it the case? Because they were just ordinary friends, not a couple. Should he feel disheartened, or should he be happy about the upcoming meal? Ning Buochao thought he should choose the latter. In any relationship, one should never feel pitiful, never wallow in self-pity, and never be unhappy just because the other person didn't meet their expectations. What Shui Yunxin thought, how she acted, who she loved, and who she didn't, that was her freedom. How about some crayfish? Ning Buochao thought for a moment and said, I heard from Pan Kong that the barbecue place we went to also serves crayfish, 100 yuan for 5 jin. Really? Shui Yunxin crossed the street and turned toward the barbecue shop. Let's go, let's go. If we're late, there won't be any seats left. By June, Haicheng was already quite hot, and business at barbecue and crayfish spots was naturally booming. Just as Shui Yunxin had predicted, there were no seats left. Fortunately, the shop had a foldable table that hadn't been set up yet. They found a spot at the entrance, set up the table, and ordered 2 jin of garlic-flavored crayfish, 3 jin of spicy crayfish, and a large bottle of ice-cold cola. The crayfish were pre-cooked and arrived at the table quickly. Looks delicious, Shui Yunxin said seriously. Let me tell you, I'm particularly sensitive to food. If I say it's good, it's definitely good. Ning Buochao, how can you tell? By the color or the smell? Not just that, Shui Yunxin said. It's an intuition. Sometimes there are things that look really tasty, and everyone says they look good, she continued. But I have this intuition that they're definitely not good. And I'm always right. Ning Buochao especially enjoyed eating with Shui Yunxin, because during meals, she would talk a lot, and he would get to see many different sides of her. For example, what she just mentioned, being able to easily tell whether food was delicious, or how she previously said she loved eating hautuinia cordata, especially when it was served cold. Shui Yunxin had already put on gloves and started eating the crayfish. Ning Buochao also began eating his first crayfish. He was having the garlic-flavored ones, which were very flavorful, and he could taste the freshness of the crayfish. It really is especially delicious, Ning Buochao said. Shui Yunxin's eyes curved into smiles. See? I told you. Ning Buochao continued peeling crayfish. He wanted to peel some for Shui Yunxin, so she could enjoy them more easily. But after peeling a few, he suddenly thought of something and looked up to ask, Senior, if you had a boyfriend in the future, would you expect him to peel crayfish for you? Without even thinking, Shui Yunxin immediately replied, Oh my gosh, absolutely not. If someone else peels them for me, how can I suck on the shells? Besides, it's not like I don't have hands. Why would I need someone else to peel them for me? Ning Buochao paused, then ate the crayfish he had just peeled in one bite. Shui Yunxin laughed at him. I just guess you were going to peel a bunch to eat all at once. Sometimes I do that too. Ning Buochao nodded. Then, Senior, if you had a boyfriend, would you want him to cover your expenses together? Shui Yunxin, by the time I'm in a relationship, I'll definitely be rich. Then I'll date some tender young college students and spend money on them. Ning Buochao's peeling movements halted. Senior, you like younger men? A little, Shui Yunxin admitted openly. If rich men could date female college students, why can't rich women date male ones? Chower, you're not that old-fashioned, are you? Ning Buochao desperately suppressed the corners of his mouth from curling up. No, of course not. Senior would graduate around this time next year. and by then, he would still be a college student. Senior like tender young college students. He needed to check what skincare products Weibai was using. They were all bought by Simp for Weibai, so they should work well, right? After a meal of crayfish, Ning Buichao wanted to become a tender young college student. When Weibai received the message asking about skincare products, he found it utterly surreal. After asking for details, he learned it was because Shui Yunxin liked younger men. Younger men, as the name implies, refer to those younger than oneself. But anyone with a bit of social or dating experience knew that younger here it didn't refer to actual age, but visual age. If you were 3 years younger than someone, but looked the same age or even more mature, could that still be called a younger man relationship? Weibai fully supported his outstanding employee in finding a younger man, and also supported his good roommate in finding a wealthy older woman. So, he asked Simp for the list of skincare products he used and sent it to Ning Buichao. After supporting his roommate, Weibai looked at the list and felt a bit confused. Simp, do I usually use this many skincare products? He remembered only using a brown bottle and a large white jar in his daily routine. Simp, not all of them are for daily skincare, and stuff like body wash and body lotion. Weibo nodded. Oh, right. Simp, what's suitable for you might not be suitable for him. Weibo, yeah. Chao is a really reliable guy. He'll definitely do his research before buying anything. Ning Buichao was still eating the crawfish. After the two of them finished 5 pounds of crawfish, they shared a plate of fried instant noodles, and only then was the meal considered over. Shui Yunxin sighed with contentment. It's been so long since I've had such a satisfying meal. Ning Buichao, haven't you been eating well lately? Too busy, Shui Yunxin said. I haven't had time to eat properly. I can only find a spare moment to grab a couple of bites of a burger or something. But things are better now. Sister Qian is here, so I don't have to handle the Douyin business collaborations anymore. And I don't have to review your videos either. The sorrows and joys of humans are not interconnected. Ning Buichao was dejected because he could no longer work with Shui Yunxin, but Shui Yunxin's heart was filled with the joy of having passed off her work. Ning Buichao looked at her happy expression and felt that compared to her being able to rest and eat properly, his own little bit of disappointment was nothing at all. Before they knew it, the two were talking about work again. Shui Yunxin brought up Supernova Training Camp, and when she spoke of Chun Mao's explosive rise to fame, her eyes sparkled as if they held stars. With Chun Mao's situation, he would have gotten popular no matter who his agent was, Shui Yunxin said. I was really just carried to success by Brother Chui and CEO Wei. Speaking of which, my luck is really good. I got the chance to earn big money before I even graduated. Ning Buichao. That's because you're outstanding yourself, senior. That's true, Shui Yunxin said, gulping down the rest of the Coke in her glass. Otherwise, why would they have chosen me? After finishing her Coke, Shui Yunxin went to pay the bill. The bakery around the corner is pretty good, Shui Yunxin said. I'm going to buy something for breakfast tomorrow. Eating bread in the morning can easily cause bloating. Ning Buichao really wanted to say that he could buy her breakfast and bring it to her. Freshly steamed buns, steaming hot noodles. But he didn't say it. He thought that if he did that, he probably wouldn't even have the chance to eat crawfish with her anymore. I've never tried it, Ning Buichao said, following her. I'll buy a few to try too. Shui Yunxin bought a black gold pistachio Mario. So Ning Buichao bought the same bread and also added a matcha loaf and a rock grilled durian bread. It won't taste good if you keep it until the day after tomorrow, Shui Yunxin reminded him. Ning Buichao smiled. It won't last past tonight. Shui Yunxin understood. Make Zhou Yin eat less. Even as an internet celebrity, he needs to watch his figure. After saying this, she laughed again. Oh wait, that's not right. Why should I care about him? That's not my responsibility anymore. Ning Buichao used to be very envious of Zhou Yin because Shui Yunxin would often drag him to singing lessons, to exercise, and to watch his figure. Now, there was no need for that. Thinking about it this way, getting a new supervisor wasn't necessarily a bad thing. When he was with Shui Yunxin, time passed especially quickly, and the walk to the dorm became especially short. When Weibo walked Simp back to her dorm, he would often linger downstairs to talk for a while longer. Ning Buichao had seen this many times. Now he wanted to do the same, but he couldn't find a reason. He could only watch helplessly as Shui Yunxin waved her hand and quickly walked into the dormitory building. She always walked in such a rush, and even said that walking slowly was tiring. Ning Buqiao usually thought this was a good thing, but now he felt she walked too fast, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Chow chow. Song Liuxi's surprised voice suddenly came from behind him. Ning Buqiao turned around. He had forgotten that Song Liuxi also lived in this building. At first, Song Liuxi was puzzled as to why Ning Buqiao was here, but when she saw the bread in his hand, her gaze suddenly softened. Did you come to bring me bread? Why didn't you tell me in advance? No, Ning Buqiao said with a small smile. This is for my roommate. I'm standing here because I just had dinner with Senior Shui Yunxin. Song Liuxi's face fell immediately, and 100 dissatisfactions with Ning Buqiao suddenly filled her heart. Since he had already run into her, couldn't he give her the bread meant for his roommate first? If he felt it would be hard to explain to his roommate, Ning Buqiao could just go and buy another one. Why was he so inflexible? Didn't Ning Buqiao see that her roommates were all here? Rejecting her so directly made her lose face. A wave of irritation washed over her, and without another glance at Ning Buqiao, Song Liuxi walked straight towards the dormitory building. Her roommates immediately followed. Cece, don't be angry. Yeah, what's there to be angry about him eating with Shui Yunxin? It must have been for work. That's right, it's not like you don't know Shui Yunxin. All she cares about is money, not men. Her roommates thought she was angry because Ning Buqiao had dinner with Shui Yunxin. How could that be? How could she possibly get angry over Shui Yunxin? The kind of girl who just wore a t-shirt and baggy pants in the summer, a black down jacket and jeans in the winter, and thought only of making money, completely devoid of any feminine charm. She was angry about those few pieces of bread. Seeing her expression, Ho Xinshin ventured. Cece, you're not angry because Ning Buqiao didn't give you any bread, are you? Song Liuxi shot her a glare. You knew, so why did you have to say it out loud? Cece, Ho Xinshin looked helpless. Have you forgotten? Your stomach hasn't been well recently, and bread makes you bloated. Ning Buqiao once brought you a red bean bun for breakfast, and you even got angry about it. Song Liuxi looked blank. It seemed like something like that did happen. So, Ning Buqiao hadn't intentionally kept the bread from her just now. He was afraid it would make her bloated? Then why didn't he explain? Why was he always like this, like a silent gourd after making someone angry, completely unable to say anything to coax them? Hearing Ho Xinshin's explanation, the other two roommates had a moment of realization. I knew it. It's just a few pieces of bread. There must have been a reason why Ning Buqiao didn't give them to Cece. Cece, Ning Buqiao is so considerate. If I were you, I would have accepted him long ago. Why wait for the 99th confession? You're wrong to say that, Song Liuxi said, basking in the vanity of her roommate's praise. I'm very serious about relationships. I have to see how sincere he is. Ho Xinshin fell silent at her words. She no longer had the energy to persuade her. It was best to just let things develop naturally. Another roommate was a huge shipper of Song Liuxi and Ning Buqiao's childhood sweetheart story. Why don't I have a childhood friend this good? Ho Xinshin said, I don't even want to see my old childhood friends anymore. We have nothing to talk about. The topic successfully shifted to childhood friends. Ning Buqiao, as a talking point for Song Liuxi, was brought up for another lengthy discussion. Ho Xinshin had already heard many stories about Song Liuxi and Ning Buqiao's childhood. They were all, without exception, about how good Ning Buqiao was to Song Liuxi. Sigh. So, had Song Liuxi really not noticed that Ning Buqiao was different now? It wasn't about the bread, it was about the look in his eyes when he saw Song Liuxi. It was completely different. When did the change begin? Ho Xinshin didn't know either. Perhaps, without anyone noticing, some love had already been exhausted. Ning Buqiao returned to the dorm with the bread. Zhou Yin and Pan Kong had already eaten dinner, but they each snatched a piece of bread the moment they saw them, stuffing them into their mouths in a few bites. There was one left. Ning Buqiao didn't eat it. He was saving it for Wei Bai. Wei Bai had an 8 a.m. class tomorrow and will be coming from home. This could be his breakfast in case he hadn't eaten. Even if he had eaten, he could still have another piece. The appetites of 19 and 20-year-old boys were only slightly smaller than when they were growing teens. Never mind an extra piece of bread. Even after finishing dinner, they could go out for a late-night barbecue without any problem. Ning Wuchao himself wasn't like that. He had always been self-disciplined, especially now, because he wanted to be the young and fresh junior in Shui Yanxin's eyes. To appear fresh, besides paying attention to skincare, the first rule was not to get fat. Ning Wuchao wasn't fat, but he didn't have the kind of well-defined physique like Zhou Yin that made clothes look good. I have to control my mouth and exercise more, he thought. How much is a yearly membership at Yike Fitness? Ning Wuchao asked. Although Zhou Yin was extremely lazy when it came to studying and daily life, he loved to work out and had bought a gym membership as soon as he started university. How much was it? He couldn't remember. It's not expensive anyway, Zhou Yin said. Want me to ask for you? You want to work out? Bro will show you the ropes. Okay, Ning Wuchao readily agreed. Show me the ropes. He had never been to a gym before and didn't even know how to use the equipment. It would be perfect if Zhou Yin could teach him. Zhou Yin was overjoyed. Finally, it was his turn to show someone else the way. He picked up his phone and messaged a trainer he knew, asking about the current prices for yearly and quarterly memberships. The trainer replied quickly. A monthly pass was $399, a quarterly pass was $799, and a yearly pass was $19.99. If he signed up through him, he could also get a free trial session with a personal trainer. Zhou Yin asked Ning Wuchao, the monthly pass isn't a good deal. How about you get a quarterly one first? Ning Wuchao said, I'll go with you for a trial tomorrow. If I think it's good, I'll get the yearly pass directly. He knew himself. Once he decided on something, he would definitely stick with it, so there was no chance of the $19.99 going to waste. Zhou Yin wasn't particularly surprised. Ning Wuchao came from an ordinary family. The money he used to spend on Song Liusi was earned from running a tutoring class in his hometown during the summer vacation. After coming to university, he also took on tutoring jobs to earn money. Later, when he started editing videos for Makao Culture, he stopped tutoring. In other words, the pay for Makao Culture was quite good. Ning Wuchao wasn't short on money. Great! Zhou Yin was even more enthusiastic than Ning Wuchao. He finally had a workout buddy. We'll go tomorrow afternoon after class. Zhou Yin wasn't one to keep things to himself. By 8 in the morning on Monday, Weibo knew the news as soon as he got to the classroom. Ning Wuchao wanted to work out? Connecting this to yesterday, when Ning Wuchao asked him about skincare, Weibo understood. Chower, he looked at Ning Wuchao. I think you could change your hairstyle. Actually, Ning Wuchao wasn't ugly. It was just that his bowl cut made him look a bit dorky. Coupled with the fact that Ning Wuchao didn't really buy clothes and dress like a typical student, he looked even dorkier. Since Chower had already decided to evolve his appearance, Weibo would, of course, help him out. Change your hairstyle and work on your style, Weibo said. You'll definitely be handsome. Ning Wuchao touched his hair. What kind of hairstyle should I get? Weibo's own sense of style was average, so he didn't give Ning Wuchao any specific suggestions, instead tossing the question to Zhou Yin. Zhou Yin, day after tomorrow, Big Bro will take you to get your hair done. We'll go to my exclusive hairstylist. I guarantee he'll make you look more handsome than a celebrity. Pan Kong rubbed his own buzz cut. Maybe I should change my hairstyle too. Zhou Yin, you should probably grow your hair out a bit first. With it being so short, what was there to cut? In his style, Weibo looked at Zhou Yin. Old Zhou, I'm leaving it to you. Zhou Yin, a piece of cake. Zhou Yin didn't pay attention to the lecture at all, spending the entire class picking out clothes for Ning Wuchao. They couldn't be too expensive, but they couldn't be too cheap either. They had to have a bit of quality. Chower wasn't suited for his own high-fashion style. In terms of fashion, he could learn from Weibo. Thinking this, Zhou Yin looked at Weibo. An off-white linen shirt with a solid white t-shirt underneath. The shirt cuffs were rolled up a few times, revealing a simple gray leather watch strap on his wrist. On his lower half were dark gray straight-leg jeans, paired with white canvas shoes. The canvas bag he was carrying today was also dark gray, clearly coordinated in advance. Layering, color coordination, consistent quality. Did Weibo put this together himself? Obviously not. Zhou Yin grumbled internally. What's so great about having a girlfriend? His Yuan loved to pick out clothes for him too. This floral shirt he was wearing was bought by Yuan. But Ning Buiqiao didn't have a girlfriend. And considering Chao's personality, forget it. It was better to buy more versatile basics. He shouldn't learn from Weibo. Without a girlfriend like Simp, how could he have so many coordinated outfits like Weibo? Even his watch strap matched his clothes. Zhou Yin went back to picking out clothes. White t-shirt, off-white t-shirt, light gray t-shirt, light blue straight-leg jeans, dark blue straight-leg jeans, gray straight-leg jeans, floral dress, little white dress, polka dot dress, puffy skirt. Demon King Zhou, Yuan, which ones do you like? I'll buy them for you, little peacock Yuan. This floral one is so tacky. Demon King Zhou, it definitely won't be tacky on my Yuan. You look like a fairy. Little peacock Yuan, the polka dot one is nice. Demon King Zhou, okay, buying it now. I'll get you shoes, a bag, and a bracelet to go with it. Little peacock Yuan. Well, Zhou Yin grinned so wide his gums were showing. Weibo whispered, are you this happy picking out clothes for Chao? Zhou Yin, oh right, he was originally picking out clothes for Chao. Zhou Yin could be unreliable at times, but he was full of interest in this project of transforming Ning Buiqiao. Fueled by this interest, on Monday night, Zhou Yin took Ning Buiqiao to the gym, and on Tuesday night, Zhou Yin took Ning Buiqiao to get his hair done. The hair salon wasn't near High University, but over by Zhou Yan's house, a journey that required a taxi and a subway ride, totaling over an hour. The two of them were gone for 5 or 6 hours, not returning to the dorm until after 11 at night. We're back. The moment he entered the dorm, Zhou Yin was unusually excited. Weibo and Pan Kong looked up at the sound. Of course, when they looked up, they weren't looking at Zhou Yin, but at Ning Buiqiao, who was behind him. At this glance, Weibo almost didn't recognize him. The bowl cut had been transformed into a curly perm, and his hair was dyed a light brown. Pan Kong, holy crap, is this still Chao? Weibo also marveled. What made you think of getting a curly perm? This suited Ning Buiqiao so well, it was a stroke of genius. Ning Buiqiao was a little uncomfortable. Is it weird? Not weird, Weibo affirmed. It suits you perfectly. Pan Kong also said, with this new hairstyle, you look like a K-pop star. Ning Buiqiao raised his arm and stiffly touched his hair. Really? Pan Kong and Weibo. Really? And so, a small smile appeared on the corner of Ning Buiqiao's mouth. Seeing that the hairstyle had received the collective approval of his roommates, Zhou Yin was even happier than Ning Buiqiao. My exclusive Tony said Chao would definitely suit a wool perm, but Chao was dead set against it, Zhou Yin said smugly. If I hadn't used physical force to restrain him, he would have just trimmed his bangs and come back. Weibo, what kind of physical force? Zhou Yin pinned him down and wouldn't let him move. Pan Kong rubbed his own buzz cut. Should I grow my hair out and get a perm too? Weibo glanced at him. I think your current hairstyle is pretty good. A buzz cut on a big guy. It has a red sorghum vibe, so authentic. Imagine you Jean Ao with a perm. Better not. Zhou Yin also agreed. If you got a perm, your girlfriend would have to break up with you. Pan Kong, is it that serious? Zhou Yin, if you don't believe me, use an app to change your hairstyle to a perm and ask her. Pan Kong actually tried it. A few minutes later, he grinned foolishly. Rong says my buzz cut looks good. Zhou Yin gave him an I told you so look, then went back to talking about Ning Buiqiao's hairstyle. I chose this color, Zhou Yin chattered on. Chao chose one that was almost black. I took one look and thought, how could that work? If you're getting wool curls, it has to be a light color. Light colors give you that pretty boy feel. Ning Buiqiao was so embarrassed by his words. I'm too far for being a pretty boy. Zhou Yin, dude, be confident. Ning Buiqiao looked at Weibo. Weibo nodded and said very seriously, it really looks good. It's just that your outfit doesn't quite match. It'll be fine once you change your clothes. Zhou Yin, we've been going to help pick up packages these past 2 days. Zhou Yin had bought all the clothes and shoes with his own account. Ning Buiqiao had transferred the money to him and even treated him to breakfast for a month. Ning Buiqiao had also bought a lot of things for himself, mainly some skincare products. The two sat down and started to see which packages would arrive tomorrow. Pan Kong suddenly said, Chao, are you doing this image makeover for your 99th confession? Zhou Yin, Jinx. Ning Buiqiao smiled, no. I'm not doing it to confess to anyone. I just feel I should become better. Zhou gave him a thumbs up. Respect. Weibo also felt that Ning Buqiao had changed a lot recently. This change was not in his appearance, but in his inner growth. This change deserved a respect. Weibo, respect. Pan Kong also followed with a respect. Ning Buqiao became embarrassed. He used to be so infatuated with Song Liusi that he lost himself. His roommates didn't laugh at him, but instead treated him with sincerity. A group of roommates like this was also the source of his courage to change. There was a small mirror on Ning Buqiao's desk, a gift he had given Song Liusi when he didn't know what to buy her. He opened the small flip mirror and looked at the brand new him. Light brown wool curls, large-framed, thin-rimmed glasses. He almost didn't recognize himself. Boji, he put down the mirror and looked at Weibo. I've finished editing Lingxi's video. Weibo was surprised. When did you finish it? Ning Buqiao. I actually finished it over the weekend. I've checked it several times over the past 2 days. Weibo smiled. All right then, I'll watch it now. Ning Buqiao handed the hard drive on his desk to Weibo. The footage was recorded on the night Jiangxiang was framed. Several hours of footage had been edited into a 28-minute-long video. Weibo watched it carefully, his heart feeling heavy at first, then light. After watching it, he savored it for a while before saying, the editing is really good. He had thought that Ning Buqiao could edit short videos well, but might not be able to perfect a long video. But unexpectedly, the storytelling and hook of this video were so well done. It started with the incident of Jiangxiang being framed, and then a montage of the Lingxi founding team. It made people's blood boil, and also made them anxious for this group of idealists. They had already endured for so many years. Could they still succeed? If they could, when would their success come? Even Weibo had such questions and expectations after watching it. What if other people saw it? Chao, Weibo looked at Ning Buqiao. This video is too good. I didn't expect it to be this good. I feel like there's still a lot I wanted to express, but didn't express clearly. Ning Buqiao was still not very confident. Will this really work? Weibo, it'll work. It'll definitely work. Weibo's tone was so certain that it made Zhou Yin and Pan Kong curious, and they ran to Weibo's laptop to watch the video. Zhou Yin usually watched TV shows at 1.5 or even 2.0 speed, but he actually watched this 28-minute-long video without skipping a single bit. Holy crap, he had an expression of "you're actually this awesome" on his face. You edited this? This is too damn professional, isn't it? Pan Kong. I can't explain it, but it's like a documentary. Ning Buqiao. Is it that good? The three of them. Yes. Ning Buqiao thought for a moment, then asked again, really? The three of them. Really? Ning Buqiao started to smile. Actually, I'm quite outstanding too, right? Weibo was very happy that he could say such a thing. Don't doubt it. You are outstanding. Zhou Yin, you're my roommate. How could you not be outstanding? Pan Kong was the most surprised. You got into Shanghai University, isn't that outstanding enough? Their words made Ning Buqiao's smile grow wider and wider. He knew he wasn't that bad, but he was rarely acknowledged. So this is what being acknowledged feels like. It feels pretty good. Thinking this, he smiled and looked at his 3 roommates. Thank you. Ning Buqiao hesitated, wondering if he should send Shui Yunxin a photo of his new hairstyle, or maybe post a moment's update visible only to her. After hesitating, he decided against it. Letting Senior Shui see the change in person would be a bigger surprise, right? Would she be surprised? She probably would be. Last time, when he changed his glasses, Shui Yunxin hadn't noticed. This time, with such a big change, Shui Yunxin would definitely see it too. She would probably praise his new hairstyle, just like his roommates did. Ning Buqiao imagined Shui Yunxin's expression, the words she might say. The more he imagined, the more he looked forward to it. And so, his dreams that night were particularly sweet. Wednesday morning, Ning Buqiao went to class with a head of woolly curls. It drew a wave of surprise compliments from his classmates. Damn, I almost didn't recognize you. How did you suddenly become a pretty boy? This hairstyle looks much better than your old one. Where'd you get it done? How much? Ning Buqiao answered each question patiently. Because of a new hairstyle, he seemed to have briefly become the center of attention. This feeling was foreign to him, and he felt a little overwhelmed. Seeing that Wei Bai had taken a seat by the window on the left, Ning Chao went to sit next to him. He looked a little awkward. Wei Bai smiled. Chower, don't tell me the compliments are making you uncomfortable? Ning Chao subconsciously patted down his woolly curls. I think I might have. Dress up shame. For someone who had been lost in the crowd since childhood, suddenly being the center of attention and being complimented on his looks by so many people was slightly jarring for Ning Chao. You'll get used to it the more you dress up, Wei Bai said. When the clothes arrive and you put the whole outfit together, even more people will compliment you. The atmosphere in their major was quite good. The students were generous with their emotional support. Wei Bai had experienced this long ago. Any day he wore new shoes or a new watch strap, someone would call him handsome. Likewise, Wei Bai would also provide such emotional support for his classmates. A casual compliment could make someone happy for half the day, so why not? Besides, the compliments were all sincere. Wei Bai could feel it. Today, Zhou Yin and Pan Kong sat in the row in front of Wei Bai. In a row behind him sat two of the few girls in their class. As Wei Bai lowered his head to reply to messages in the Macao workgroup chat, he heard the two female students discussing Chun Mao. Worked as a gatekeeper at a pig farm, a waiter in a restaurant, and even carried bricks on a construction site. The girl's voice was full of sympathy. How did Chun Mao have it so tough before? It breaks my heart to think that before he got famous, Chun Mao couldn't even afford a boxed lunch at the construction site and just ate steam buns with cold water. It's so heartbreaking. He dropped out of school so early but insisted on supporting his younger sister's education. I read that his sister is a great student and wants to go to Shanghai University in the future. Really? She has to get into our school. When she does, her senior sister will treat her to a meal. Shouldn't we avoid bothering his sister? Maybe we can just watch from a distance and see if she needs any help. That's true. By the way, have you voted for Chun Mao? He's dropped to 6th this week. Voting now. I refuse to believe a publicly elected contestant can't beat a royal. Hearing this, Wei Bai was quite happy. Chun Mao was famous, and everyone could make money. It was great, but the two girls' next sentence instantly wiped the smile off Wei Bai's face. That trash Macao culture is so inhuman, one of the girls said indignantly. Can't they see all the haters? They don't even do any anti-hater PR for Chun Mao. Exactly, Chun Mao gets bullied by the royal on the show, and that trashy little company does absolutely nothing. Wei Bai. Are there a lot of haters? That's right, it's a necessary part of becoming famous. Bullied by the royal? That's right, you need a storyline to attract fans. Macao is getting cursed out. Fine, getting cursed out is right. Which famous artist agency doesn't get cursed out? Brother Chui used to be chased and cursed by Chiu Shirwan and Ko Xiaogu's fans. The moment he opened his Weibo comments, it was all insults. Wei Bai thought to himself, better for Chui to die than for me. Wei Bai. The boss of Macao culture is Chui Peng, and Chui Peng was the one behind some of the shady operations. Wei Bai didn't care, but Ning Chao was a little angry hearing it. He wanted to turn around and reason with his classmates, but Wei Bai grabbed him. There's nothing to argue about, Wei Bai said in a low voice, and it's a good thing for the company to be scolded. If Chun Mao wasn't popular, you couldn't find anyone to scold you even if you wanted to. Ning Chao didn't understand company operations, so hearing Wei Bai say this, he gave up the idea of trying to reason with them. Behind them, the two female classmates' pity for Chun Mao and their insults toward Mu Chao culture continued until class began. Wei Bai's ears were finally quiet. He began to listen attentively to the lecture. Classes near exam week were very important because some teachers would go over or highlight key points. At this time, the entire class's desire to study and the atmosphere for listening would reach a peak. Even Zhou Yin would give up sleep to listen carefully. As expected, the teacher revealed some guaranteed exam points. Wei Bai noted them all down, feeling it wasn't a big problem. Of course, the main reason it wasn't a big problem was that he wasn't pursuing a graduate school recommendation. If you wanted a recommendation, you had to compete for GPA points. In Dorm 411, Chao and Kong hadn't decided whether to pursue graduate studies, so they were more concerned about their GPAs. But High University was full of top students, and the competition was fierce. Last semester, Wei Bai's overall GPA was 3.76, which only ranked him in the middle of his class. Pan Kang's overall GPA was 3.8, and he didn't even rank among the top few. This showed the extent of grade inflation at High University. Wei Bai's goal was clear. He didn't care about his GPA, but he had very high standards for his major courses, wanting an A in every one. As for some filler courses, an A or B was fine. To him, university was very different from high school. Studying was still very important, but grade rankings were not as crucial anymore. Although Wei by himself didn't want a graduate school recommendation, he was still very interested in information about it. Because classmate Xie wanted to pursue a master's and a doctorate to follow the academic path. Wei Bai was very supportive, and he knew that classmate Xie could definitely do it. After all, classmate Xie had ranked first in their major last semester with a perfect GPA in the School of Mathematics. Terrifying, truly terrifying. The morning classes finally ended. There was no class in the first afternoon session. Everyone in dorm 411 was in the dormitory reviewing, including Zhou Yan. He picked up a book and began flipping through it, incredibly fast. If Wei Bai didn't know his capabilities, he would have suspected if he had even finished reading the page. That's right. Every exam week was Zhou Yan's time to show his true strength. He usually didn't study at all, but still never failed a course, and could even get A's. This guy was full of talent, yet all he wanted to do was lie flat, eat, drink, and have fun. Wei Bai could understand Zhou Yan. Who doesn't like to eat, drink, and have fun? Wei Bai liked it too, but he made time for fun amidst his work and studies. Zhou Yan's life was mainly about eating, drinking, and having fun, and he made time for work and studies. Wei Bai pondered that once his career was on the right track, he could also experience Zhou Yan's current lifestyle. Perhaps it would be quite fun. After studying until almost 4 o'clock, the four of them rushed to their last class of the day. Life during exam month was just that simple and unadorned. Time quickly flew by to Friday. On this day, Alumni Story was released simultaneously on High University's official Weibo, public WeChat account, and Douyin account. The one released was Jiang Xiang's feature. Wei Bai was very moved watching it. When he saw the comments, he was even more moved. Tattoo brain-computer interface. Can this really be achieved? If it can, it would be a huge help to people with real-life difficulties. An epic-making innovation. I'm in awe. Can it allow people who are blind in both eyes to see again? I'm really looking forward to this technology. Such a talented person was almost destroyed by rumors. I get angry just thinking about it. President Jiang is so handsome. Does High University have this major? My daughter is very interested. I hope the development of science and technology can let my son live like a normal person. The previous public opinion battle had been fought well, so it was expected that the comment section was now completely harmonious. More than that, Wei Bai was focused on the fact that many people were hoping this technology would bring them salvation. He thought, this must be the meaning behind Jiang Xiang and the Lingxi team's perseverance, and also the reason why he, despite having easier ways to make money, had to devote himself to this field. Wei Bai, Senior, the story in Alumni Story was told so well. Jiang Xiang, was it a bit unnatural? Wei Bai, very natural, vivid, and sincere. Jiang Xiang, smiling yellow face emoji. Wei Bai laughed. Few young people nowadays like to use this smiling yellow face emoji, but Jiang Xiang loved to use it to express joy. Thinking back, it seemed that their conversations always ended with a smiling yellow face. Wei Bai thought for a moment, and also replied with a smiling yellow face. The video was released at 9 in the morning. Of course, Wei Bai couldn't be staring at the comments all the time. When he checked again at night, he discovered that the video had actually gone viral. And it wasn't even the one on the High University account that had gone viral. It was the one reposted by Lu Chang on his personal account. Under Haida University's official Weibo, there were over 5,000 comments. Under Lu Chang's account, there were tens of thousands of comments. With things having developed to this point, Lu Chang had become a major influencer. This was an unintentional result. Lu Chang himself was shocked by this sudden surge in popularity. In the Lingxi group chat, Lu Chang, I thought I was already famous before. I didn't expect to get even more famous. Lu Chang, so many fans are sliding into my DMs saying they want to marry me. What should I do? Lu Chang at Jiang Xiang, Senior, you should open a personal account. I'll make you famous, Jiang Xiang. Opening one now. Yu Guang. Wait, I'll open one too. Give me a follow at Lu Chang. The Lingxi group was buzzing with lively conversation. Wei Bai watched, a sense of satisfaction in his heart. Why was everyone so happy? Was it because Lu Chang got famous? Of course not. It was because Lingxi was developing better and better. The collaboration with Huasheng was progressing smoothly. Stability had clearly improved under large amounts of data, and clinical trials were on the schedule. Having won the public opinion battle online, Lingxi had entered the public eye, laying the foundation for future commercialization. As a member of Lingxi, Wei Bai felt very satisfied and proud to be a part of it. After class on Friday, he went home with classmate Xie. "You're very happy today?" Simp asked. Wei Bai smiled. Today, Alumni Stories released Senior Zhang's issue, and the reception was great. Simp blinked. The next issue's reception will be even better. The young, handsome entrepreneur would receive the cheers and applause he deserved. Wei Bai, now that you mention it, I just realized I need to get my account ready. Times were different now. The internet was the main platform for publicity. CEOs had to show their faces and interact directly with netizens. However, he had to register a new Weibo account, because his main account stored some daily videos of him and classmate Xie, visible only to himself. He already had 2 phone numbers, one from Lucheng and one from Haicheng. With that in mind, he used his Haicheng number to register a new Weibo and completed the real name verification. Simp watched him register the new account. "You didn't have a Weibo account before?" Simp asked. "Wei Bai, I do. It's where I keep our videos, visible only to myself." Simp froze. "There. Videos?" Yes, he had used the Pocket 3 she gave him to record many videos. Some she had seen, and some were perhaps recorded when she wasn't paying attention. Simp sat beside him, nudging his shoulder. "I want to see." Wei Bai used one hand to hold her restless head still. Then, classmate Xie, "Do you have a Weibo account?" Simp fell silent. "Wei Bai, classmate Xie." Simp refused to answer. Yeah, if she didn't have one, classmate Xie would have definitely answered no directly. So she must have one. But her silence meant she didn't want him to see it. "Wei Bai, classmate Xie, you don't have embarrassing photos of me on your account, do you?" Simp, "Of course not." "Wei Bai, then what's on there that you can't let me see?" Simp, "I'm not showing you." Wei Bai smiled. "Then I won't show you mine either." She definitely had embarrassing photos of him. Why else wouldn't she let him see? The young couple encountered the first major conflict of their relationship. So they each sat in a corner of the sofa, secretly searching for each other's Weibo accounts using their phone numbers. Wei Bai's search failed. He was sure that classmate Simp must have, just like him, first turned off the allow others to find me via phone number option in the privacy settings. Simp's search also failed. She was very sure that little turtle must have, just like her, turn off a privacy option. And so, they looked up, their eyes meeting. What name would her Weibo account use? Under which accounts might they be found? They knew the other person was thinking the exact same thing. This wouldn't do. How could there be such scheming in a healthy relationship? Wei Bai, racing against time, began using a phone number to look up Hu Jingshuan's Weibo account. This channel would surely lead him to classmate Xie. He was guaranteed to win this round. Simp had already opened Lu Chang's Weibo. Then she opened Haida University's official Weibo. Search for Xiaoxiao by phone number. Search for Liaoinan by phone number. No trace of Little Turtle was found. Could it be that Little Turtle had never interacted with anyone? It was possible. His account was only used to store their videos. A smile appeared at the corner of Simp's mouth. This round, she didn't win, but Little Turtle couldn't win either, because her account had never interacted with anyone either. At this moment, Wei Bai was scrolling through Hu Jingshuan's Weibo. Going through the comment section one by one, the few accounts that interacted frequently with Hu Jingxian all liked to show off jewelry and designer bags. They were clearly not classmate Xie. Damn it, classmate Xie didn't even interact with Hu Jingxian. What did this mean? This indicated that student Xie's account, like his, was purely for storing videos and photos. Therefore, student Xie must have been saving his embarrassing photos. In this battle, neither of them won. In the end, it was Wei Bai who compromised first. He offered up his own Weibo account, which was filled with video after video. "There are too many," Wei Bai said. "Let's wait until after the exams to watch them." It looked like it would take at least a whole day and night to get through, suitable for whiling away time during summer vacation. This sentence reminded Simp of an unfinished task she really wanted to complete. You promised to show me your childhood photos. She said, way by, what did he promise that? How come he didn't remember? But well, looking was fine. Before, he didn't want student Xie to see his childhood photos, especially from his infant and toddler years, when he had no autonomy and was forced to take nude pictures. But now, what hadn't student Xie seen? Mere other forms of his paleness were no longer necessary to hide. Wei Bai readily agreed. I have tons of childhood photos. When I go home for summer vacation, we can look at them together. Simp expressed her satisfaction with this answer. Look at photos, watch videos. Wei Bai, okay. Student Xie, it's your turn to hand over your Weibo account. Simp blinked and fell silent. Wei Bai, hey, you're not going to go back on your word, are you? Simp, MHM. A wicked impulse rose in Wei Bai. All right, since it's come to this, don't blame me for being rude. Before he could finish his sentence, he pounced like a tiger on its prey, pinning the reneging girl with one hand and ruthlessly reaching for her waist with the other. Simp was stunned for half a second, then burst out laughing with a her body arching and struggling like a shrimp thrown into a hot pan. Stop tickling. Are you going to fess up? MHM. Ha ha ha. Hand over the account. Ha 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 ha. Such a hard mouth, huh? Then don't blame me for using my ultimate move. As he spoke, Wei Bai's hand reached for her fair, delicate foot. No, no. Simp struggled to escape, but was held down firmly by Wei Bai. She curled up, laughing until tears streamed down her face, her whole body trembling. I'll talk. Hearing this, Wei Bai finally stopped. The torture of tickling. Who could withstand it? Little student Xie, taken down with ease. It took Simp a while to catch her breath, but her ears and cheeks were pink, as if she had just done something strenuous. Simp, humph. Wei Bai laughed. You went back on your word, and you get to humph. Knowing she was in the wrong, Simp took her phone. Fine, look. It's not like her account had anything shameful on it. Wei Bai leaned over and watched her open Weibo and tap on it. The account name was ManManBBBBBB. It was clearly a name typed out randomly, because the original was already taken. Wei Bai followed the account first. Then his eyes returned to student Xie's phone. Following her finger as it slid down, they looked at the post together. The latest one was from over a year ago. A picture of a turtle plushie. Scrolling further down. A small turtle plushie. A small turtle plushie. A small turtle keychain. A small turtle plushie. A photo of a small turtle. A small turtle squishy toy. Wei Bai stared, dumbfounded. It was all small turtles. Simp's finger stopped. I told you, there's nothing to see. Wei Bai's gaze also froze. His Adam's apple bobbed, but he didn't know what to say. His chest felt as if it were filled with something, or as if a hand had gripped it tightly. He knew student Xie had liked him for a long time. He knew student Xie had bought so many small turtles because of him. But at this moment, seeing the timestamps on each of those Weibo posts, he suddenly realized. In the years when he couldn't see student Xie, how sad she must have been. She had appeared before him so many times. They had clearly attended the same school. Yet he had failed to see her. The large hand, clutching his heart, seemed to squeeze tighter and tighter, squeezing until Wei Bai felt a little breathless. He liked to tell himself to live in the present, to always look forward. But at this moment, because of these pictures of turtles, he ached for the student Xie of the past, and ached beyond words. Finally, he let out a soft sigh. Then, he pulled the soft girl into a tight embrace. Student Xie, I love you. Besides this, he didn't know what else to say. Besides this, any other words seemed pale. Simp's eyes widened. Then, she smiled lightly, the end of her tone lilting upwards. I love you too. Love is a language not spoken lightly. Unless you really want to say it. Really want to tell him. I love you. This was an ordinary weekend. But for Wei Bai, it was far from ordinary. By the time student Xie was sound asleep, it was already midnight. He opened student Xie's Weibo, scrolled through post by post, and finally reached the very first one. It was a selfie. Student Xie, looking like a princess in a cocktail dress, with a very large stuffed turtle. Posted on a certain day 13 years ago. Weibai stared at this photo for a long, long time. In the end, he saved the photo. This photo he thought was very meaningful because, in a way, it was his first picture with student Xie. Although he didn't know anything back then, and student Xie at that time might not have known it was love. But this was love. This was it. This feeling that brought a sting to his nose, yet was so satisfying. This was love. Weibai turned over and looked at student Xie's sleeping face. "Good night, student Xie." He smiled, mouthing the words silently, and then slowly drifted off to sleep. It was an ordinary yet romantic weekend. After the weekend, Weibai fell back into his routine of work and study. Exam month always passed by especially quickly, and in the blink of an eye, it was Friday again. This Friday, Weibai had an 8 a.m. class as usual. Just like him, DeBeo at the University of Finance and Economics next door also had an 8 a.m. class. DeBeo sat in the classroom, stuffed a bun into his mouth, twisted open a water bottle, and chugged half of it down. For DeBeo, this morning was also just another ordinary 8 a.m. class. Until the first class ended, a classmate behind him tapped his shoulder, his voice filled with a gasp of surprise. "DeBeo, isn't this your buddy from Haida?" DeBeo went to Haida to play basketball with Weibai every month or two and posted about it on his moments every time. So many of his classmates knew he had a good friend at Haida. Those who knew him better even knew that DeBeo's buddy was named Weibai and was quite handsome. Hearing his classmate, DeBeo craned his neck back to look. The classmate's phone was playing a Douyin video. In the video, Weibai, dressed in casual clothes, was being interviewed, looking all proper and talking about starting a business and 100 million. DeBeo was completely stunned. "Yeah, that's him." The classmate immediately gasped again. "Your buddy is Jiang Xiang's partner?" The recent storm of negative news had made many onlookers aware of the name Jiang Xiang and that he was working on tattoo-style brain-computer interfaces. Tattoo-style brain-computer interfaces. It sounded awesome just hearing the name. The negative press had turned Jiang Xiang into a big shot. That's why DeBeo's classmate was so surprised when he saw the video. "Wait, isn't your buddy just a freshman? How is he already standing alongside a big shot?" On the phone, Weibai was still talking eloquently. DeBeo's face was a mask of confusion. Yeah, that was definitely Weibai, no doubt about it. Just last month, they had played basketball together. After the game, they ate grilled cold noodles, grilled starch sausages, and grilled gluten. The grilled gluten at Haida was so delicious. The buddy he ate grilled gluten with had become a big shot's partner. DeBeo suddenly remembered some things Weibai had told him before. Something about joining the Makers Club, something about telepathy, something about brain-computer interfaces. Weibai had also said at the time, "I want to help more people." DeBeo had immediately said that helping people was good. DeBeo was also a good person, helping female classmates every day. What did Weibai say after hearing that? He said he wanted to build a great company to help many, many people. At the time, DeBeo thought Weibai was talking about Mu Chao culture. Writing uplifting songs was a way of helping people. Who would have thought that Weibai was talking about this kind of high-tech company? DeBeo knew Weibai was impressive, but wasn't this a bit too much? In his entire life, DeBeo had never seen appear as impressive as Weibai. Not even in the news. "Yeah, that's my buddy. Everyone come look. This is my buddy, my best friend. I'm his best friend too. We grew up together since we were kids. Isn't my buddy awesome? Oh my God, from now on, I, DeBeo, will be the best friend of Super Big Shot." For a moment, all of DeBeo's classmates were watching the video. Everyone like the classmate, sitting behind DeBeo, gasped in unison. "Holy crap, he's a freshman, just like us. His girlfriend is the campus belle. And she even gives him money to spend? Why don't I get that kind of luck? Weibai is really handsome too, and super capable. DeBeo, in your moments, you were squatting on the roadside, eating grilled starch sausages with him? The two of you were sharing one. DeBeo, you've even eaten food cooked by the Haida campus belle? What have you done to deserve that?" In the 4 great talents of Lu Chung group chat, DeBeo at everyone, have you all seen that video? Lixian, which one? Chi Hao, which one? DeBeo, I've shared it on Douyin with you guys. A dozen or so minutes later. Lixian, holy shit. Haven't seen you in half a semester. Weibai, what have you been up to behind my back? Chi Hao, Still need investment? Panting sounds Chi Wenhao. When's the series be round? Wei Bai Chi Wenhao. I'll let you know if there's a chance. Wei Bai Lixian, a whole lot. Wei Bai at Bao. When are your exams? His three friends were incredibly excited, but Wei Bai was very calm, even starting to chat with Bao about when to return to Lucheng. What Wei Bai didn't expect was that while they were chatting, Bao had already forwarded his interview video to the class group chat. Instantly, the group chat exploded. Ji Lingling, wait, Wei Bai, you've already made it as an entrepreneur? Liang Yuanzheng. After an entrepreneur gets famous, don't the media love to interview their old classmates and teachers? I think I'm about to be interviewed. Ha 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 ha. Old Wong. They'd interview me first. Sure, how? It even brought out our old class advisor, Liang Yuanzheng. They'll definitely interview you first. Ji Lingling. Save a spot for me. I was on pretty good terms with God Bai back in high school. Wei Bai. That's a must. Ji Lingling. God Bai. Wei Bai. Let's all meet up during the break. Liang Yuanzheng immediately followed up with another message. Everyone, post your break schedules. Liang Yuanzheng, starting a sign-up chain. This sign-up chain made even the classmates who usually lurk come out. Even old Wong joined the chain, adding his summer vacation dates. Wei Bai added his name, chatted a bit more with old Wong, and then closed the group chat. At the University of Finance and Economics, Bao grinned from ear to ear as he looked at the long sign-up chain. My bro, no matter how successful he gets, he's still my bro. Wei Bai hadn't expected that the first ripples from the video would be in his high school circle. But by the afternoon, his university circle exploded as if a bombshell had been dropped. First, discussions started popping up in all the smaller group chats. Then in class, the way his classmates looked at him was different. Usually, Wei Bai was very busy and had little contact with classmates other than his roommates, but he was on good terms with everyone. In his classmates' eyes, Wei Bai had a gentle personality, and being around him felt like a breath of fresh spring air. Once this video came out, that impression changed in an instant. Who could tell them how the person who attended class with them every day, almost never skipping, had suddenly become a big shot? That was alumni stories. People from other universities might not know, but how could they, the students of high university, not know? For alumni stories, even a gold medalist at the national games would only make it into a compilation. You need an Olympic medal to get a solo feature. Or you had to be a big shot who had made significant achievements in an industry, an alumnus with outstanding academic accomplishments, or a mega big shot who had donated hundreds of millions or even over $1 billion to the university. In short, anyone who appeared on alumni stories was a big shot, and now Wei Bai was on alumni stories in a solo feature. What did that mean? It meant that the person attending class with them every day had already become a big shot. Big shot, you're gracing us with your presence in class today. Big shot, is Lingxi still hiring? I'll work for free. I'd even pay to work there. Wei Bai was on good terms with his classmates and knew they were all just teasing good-naturedly. His attitude towards them didn't change. He was as gentle as ever. To be precise, he was even gentler than before. This was something many people admired him for. Even the few usually arrogant people in the class were touched by it. Honestly, if I were in his shoes, achieving so much as a freshman, could I treat my classmates with the same attitude? Wei Bai is someone with real abilities. All things considered, I'm not sure I could even compare to him. Wei Bai had known that his life would change a little after Alumni Stories was released. He gladly accepted this change, and even enjoyed it. After working in obscurity for so long, it was finally time to reap the rewards. However, reaping rewards was a multidimensional affair. Fame, profit, and status had to complement each other. Wei Bai was looking forward to the publication of Jiang Xiang's paper, to the progress and results of the human trials, and to the commercialization of Lingxi. Every step forward, every small achievement, gave him a huge sense of accomplishment. To describe it in one word, satisfying. Little Turtle, classmate Xia. Did you see the video? Classmate Xia. I saw it. Little Turtle. What did you think? Classmate Xia. You were amazing. Classmate Xia. The interview and the camera work weren't worthy of you. Classmate Xia. You will walk onto a bigger stage. Wei Bai himself was actually quite satisfied with the interview. Of course, a school-produced program couldn't compare to famous media outlets in terms of production quality. Would he walk onto a bigger stage? She wasn't talking about a literal stage. But Wei Bai thought classmate Xia was right. He would. He and Lingxi, as well as Mu Chao culture, would go further and higher. Just like him and classmate Xia, growing ever closer, ever better. At 4 in the afternoon, Wei Bai was called to the counselor's office. When he arrived, he saw several other older teachers there. After introductions from the counselor, he learned they were the dean, vice dean, and the head of his department. After a round of warm inquiries, the dean finally got to the point. The point was expressed in many ways, but the central meaning was one. If there was anything the college could help with, he should just ask. For the time being, Wei Bai didn't need any help from the college, but he still appeared very humble and added the contact information of the teachers. Lingxi was a high-tech enterprise, and the teachers were all academic giants. Just because he didn't need them now didn't mean he wouldn't in the future. Wei Bai thought it through clearly. Today, his alma mater had his back. Tomorrow, his alma mater would be proud of him. Where else but a university could you find so many academic giants fussing over you? Wei Bai called his current treatment the novice protection period, and he believed that as long as he maintained a good relationship with the school, he could stay in the novice protection period for his whole life. After bidding farewell to the big shots, Wei Bai went home with his backpack. He was craving pork rib and corn soup today, and classmate Xia had already gone home to put it on the stove. It was class time, so there weren't many people on campus. But Wei Bai still felt what it was like to be a celebrity. Along the way, people were looking at him, and some unfamiliar students even greeted him. Wei Bai smiled and greeted everyone back, as if they had known each other for a long time. Just like that, he walked out of the school and back home. As soon as he entered the door, he smelled the aroma of stewing pork ribs. Then he saw classmate Xia, dressed in loungewear with her hair casually tied up, walk out of the study. "I'm home." Wei Bai put down his backpack and changed his shoes to enter the house. Xia Yuman walked towards him, wrapped her arms around his waist, and buried her head in his chest. What's wrong?" Wei Bai asked. Wei Bai thought back. He was in a good mood today and had received a lot of messages, so he had somewhat neglected classmate Xia. Thinking back now, something was indeed off with classmate Xia. After seeing the alumni story, she didn't proactively share her feelings with him. When he asked, she even criticized the production of the alumni story. What happened? Could it be that classmate Xie didn't like Li Zheng? Wei Bai held her and sat down on the sofa, asking again, "Are you unhappy?" "MHM," Xie Yuman admitted. "Let me guess the reason." Wei Bai patted her head. "You couldn't find good-looking ribs when you went to buy them? Or did you get home with the ribs and realize you forgot to buy corn?" Xie Yuman looked up at him. "There are bad comments, I'm angry." "There are bad comments?" It took Wei Bai a moment to react before he smiled. "Are you talking about the alumni story?" He had seen them. There were indeed some bad comments. Because he said in the program that his girlfriend gave him the 100 million, some comments said he was a freeloader. Wei Bai didn't care. He was even surprised. There were unexpectedly few negative comments. "Don't worry about those." Wei Bai hugged his girlfriend, stroking her head and pinching her cheek. "I don't care at all." Xie Yuman was still angry. "How can you not care at all?" "I really don't care at all." Wei Bai smiled. Which celebrity doesn't have controversies? If there is one, it must be that the image they present is a fake one that has been heavily packaged. That kind of image is not real and will collapse sooner or later. Since I accepted the interview, I wanted to present my true self. As for the controversies and reputation, when Lingxi enters the market, great scholars will naturally debate on my behalf. Classmate Xia, you're angry now. Don't you believe I can succeed? Xie Yuman, of course not. Wei Bai, then don't be angry. Xie Yuman, humph. Wei Bai, why the humph now? Xie Yuman, I didn't get to buy pretty ribs. Wei Bai burst out laughing. But it smells so good. Wei Bai couldn't stop laughing. I can smell it. When it came to stewing pork ribs, Wei Bai's favorite was a simple, clear stew with just a few slices of ginger. As long as the ribs were fresh, stewing them this way would only produce a fragrant aroma, not fishy at all. Classmate Xia, are the ribs ready? Shall we eat? Wei Bai asked. Xie Yuman, about 10 more minutes. Wei Bai, all right then. Classmate Xia, can you explain a problem to me? Wait, let me get my tablet. Xie Yuman. Secretary Zhu. Yuli handed Secretary Zhu a cup of milk tea, then gestured with her lips. Is President Yu in the office? Secretary Zhu took the milk tea, thanked her, and whispered, She is. Yuli nodded. and carrying 2 cups of milk tea. She pushed the door open and went in. President Yu. Yuli blew a kiss across the room to Yue, who was busy working. Tired from working overtime? Your little sister is here to bring you some warmth. Yue, why haven't you left yet? She came to the capital to record a show. It should have only taken a few hours, but it's been 3 days and she still hasn't left. Yuli, it's rare for me to have some free time. Can I spend a little more time with my sister? So cold and sarcastic, truly annoying. No wonder man doesn't want to be around this person. What is it today? Yue looked up at Yuli. Yuli walked over with a grin, holding out her phone. Have you seen this? Yue glanced at it. On the phone screen was a video paused. Weibai was sitting sideways, looking very relaxed. Obviously, it was an interview video. Just say it, Yue said. Yuli huffed and took back her phone. High University's Alumni Stories column. Baibai and Jiangxiang have back-to-back features. All of High University's official accounts have reposted it. This column is a big deal. Only famous alumni get featured, and our Baibai is on it as a freshman. Yue Baibai. Yuli. Oh, you don't know? It's Wei Bai's nickname. Cute, isn't it? Yue was silent. Yuli continued. Sis, you have to watch this video. It showcases my son-in-law's excellence from every angle. Yue, your son-in-law? Yuli, yup. Or is he your son-in-law? Yue fell silent again. Feeling triumphant, Yuli became even more smug. When my daughter and son-in-law give me a little granddaughter, I'll retire and take care of her. A grandson would be fine too. 2 would be even better. I wouldn't mind 3. You should be nicer to me now. If I'm happy, I might let you have one. Yue, get out. Yuli, hey, look at you. Why are you getting angry? Late at night, in a certain empty villa, Yue received another message from Yuli. Yuli, sis, did you watch the video? Yue didn't reply and locked her screen. In front of her, the video on the tablet was already at its end. The young man smiled at the camera and said, Thank you for your hard work, everyone. The day after Alumni Stories was released, which was a Saturday, Yuli left the capital and flew to Haicheng. She only called Xiaman after arriving at the apartment complex. Hello, sweetie, are you home? Open the door, I'm right outside. Xiaman hung up and stood up. Auntie is here. Weibai also stood up. Oh, Auntie's here. Why didn't you give a heads up? Weibai was a little flustered. But then he remembered he had just hired a cleaning lady yesterday afternoon, so the apartment was quite clean. It was just that there was some used, not-so-presentable waste in the trash can. But that was fine. He just tossed some tissues over it first, then put the lid on the trash can. After covering it up in a few seconds, Weibai and Xiaman went to open the door together. The moment they opened the door, they saw Yuli standing there wearing big sunglasses, carrying bags in both hands. Auntie. The 2 greeted Yuli. Yuli took one look at them, both in their loungewear, looking like a proper little married couple. She couldn't help but smile. Even your loungewear is a matching set. Weibai smiled and welcomed Yuli in. But Yuli didn't move. She held out the 2 big bags of food and smiled. I won't come in. I have a meeting back in Lucheng. She wasn't the kind of parent who would disturb a young couple at every turn, especially with exams coming up soon. Yuli knew her niece was very serious about her university grades, so she must be studying on the weekend. If she came to hang out with the kids now, wouldn't she be a distraction? She truly missed the kids. Just coming to take a look and seeing the 2 little ones doing well was enough to satisfy her. Besides, once the kids were on summer break and back in Lucheng, she could see them every day. Weibai and Xiaman subconsciously took the bags. Then they saw Yuli turn around and wave her hand nonchalantly. I'm off. No need to see me out. Weibai and Xiaman simultaneously put the 2 large bags of food on the floor and chased after her in their slippers. At that moment, Yuli was waiting for the elevator. Xiaman took a step forward and linked arms with her. Break starts on July 3 RD. She would finish her exams on the 30th, work at Mu Chao Culture for a few days, and then go home. Yuli smiled. All right, Annie will be waiting for you at home. The elevator doors opened. Weibai held one side of the elevator door, watching Yuli get in. Yuli, go on back now, be good. The elevator doors slowly closed. The 2 returned to their apartment, exchanged a look, and then started rummaging through the bags. Roast duck, pastries, small pickles. What's this? Partridges. Weibai stared at the 2 familiar-looking partridges for a moment, then smiled. Students, yeah, these must be from your mom. Sia Man hummed in agreement. We'll have the roast duck for lunch, with pancakes and vegetable soup. Okay, Weibai said. And partridge soup for dinner. Sia Man nodded. What needed to go in the fridge went in the fridge, and what needed to go in the snack cabinet went in the snack cabinet. Auntie is the best, Weibai sighed. Sia Yuman, hum. She strongly agreed. Her aunt was the best aunt in the world. After a few minutes of putting away the food her aunt had sent, the two returned to the study to continue their work. And so they studied for 2 days. Finally, exam week arrived. Weibai's exams started on Monday and would be completed within 2 weeks. Sia Yuman's, however, didn't start until Wednesday, with 1 or 2 exams each day, to be finished within 10 days. Weibai loved exam week. Because exams were a test, and the results were easy to see. If everything in the world could be tested like an exam, then everything would become much simpler. But the various challenges encountered at work were far more difficult than any exam. And they didn't bring the same sense of accomplishment that getting good grades did. Weibai felt that kids like him, who grew up accustomed to the exam-oriented education system, needed to reestablish their own exam methods after growing up. There had to be goals, a schedule, and periodic feedback, just like with an exam. Only then could one experience a sense of enjoyment. On the last day of June, at 12 noon, Weibai finished his last exam. Coincidentally, Sia Yuman's last exam was also on this day, at this time. After the exam, the two met at the entrance of the first teaching building. Classmates, yeah, I just realized our freshman year is over. Time flies so fast. Very fast and very fulfilling. Yes, and very satisfying. They talked as they walked hand in hand toward the cafeteria. Along the way, Weibai suddenly lost his appetite for cafeteria food. Today marks the end of our freshman year. We should celebrate properly. Classmates, yeah, let's eat out. Where? What should we eat? We don't have anything this afternoon anyway. Want to go somewhere a bit farther? There's an all-you-can-eat eel place in Highland District. Xin said it's very fresh. That's the one. Damn, finally done with exams. I'm dead tired. Back in the dorm, Zhou Yin wailed as he dug into his Korean bibimbap. I have to take a good nap this afternoon. I have a company meeting tomorrow. What kind of university student has to work right after finishing exams? Sister Qian is so inhuman. Ning Buqiao was quite accepting of it, even a little happy. Work is pretty good. Zhou Yin, good my ass. Can't you let me rest a bit after exams before making me work? Ning Buqiao, a whole afternoon of rest is enough. Zhou Yin, you're a psycho, just as psycho as Weibai. He had figured it out. He was the only normal person in the entire dorm. The other 3, were all psycho overachievers. Where's Weibai? Why isn't he back yet? Zhou Yin asked. Pan Kong. Brother Bai just sent a photo in the group chat. They went to eat eel. The bibimbap in Zhou Yan's mouth immediately lost its flavor. Eating eel, and you didn't call me? He grabbed his phone, opened the group chat, and tapped on the photo. The eel looked incredibly fresh. After being grilled, the skin was crispy and fragrant. With a gentle bite, the fat would melt in your mouth. Looking at the photo, Zhou Yin swallowed a mouthful of bibimbap. Chower Conger, let's go for grilled eel tonight too. My treat. Eat as much as you want. Just as Pan Kong was about to agree, he heard Ning Buqiao say, I have plans tonight. What plans? What plans could you possibly have? Zhou Yin jabbered on. It must be related to Song Liusi again. Don't go. Let's go eat grilled eel. Ning Buqiao smiled. I can't. Tonight is pretty important. Zhou Yan's eyes suddenly widened. Holy shit. Chower, you're not going for the 99 confession, are you? Yeah, Ning Buqiao admitted directly. Zhou Yin, bro, I'm not going for grilled eel anymore. Just tell me if you need any help. Zhou Yin, had strong opinions about Song Liusi, believing she was absolutely not a good candidate for a daughter-in-law. But what could he do? Chower liked her, and even if he talked himself blue in the face like a concerned father, it was useless. Since things had come to this, all he could do was offer his support. He was still willing to do things like tossing confetti. Pan Kong also offered to help. Ning Buqiao was very touched, but he didn't need any help with anything. After thinking for a moment, he said, let's have dinner together tonight to celebrate my... Zhou Yin, celebrate you getting into a relationship? Fine, no problem. Damn it, He didn't want to eat at the same table with that woman, Song Liusi, at all. Maybe it would be better if Chao's 99th confession failed. He, Zhou Yin, officially wished for the confession to fail. Pan Kong also agreed to have dinner together that night. So, Ning Wuchao sent a message to Wei Bai, telling him about the evening's plans. At that moment, Wei Bai and Xiam Yuman were already starting on their second eel, discussing the movies that were about to be released for the summer season. When we get back to Lucheng, want to go see the photo studio? Wei Bai said. Xiam Yuman, I also want to see Lang Lang Mountain. All right, Wei Bai smiled. We'll watch a few. As they were chatting, a message from Ning Wuchao came in. After Wei Bai replied, he continued talking to Xiam Yuman. Ning Wuchao is preparing for his 99th confession tonight. After he does it, he wants to treat us to dinner. Xiam Yuman, to celebrate his success? Wei Bai laughed. No, to celebrate his failure. Xiam Yuman blinked and suddenly said a name. Shui Yinxin? Wei Bai was surprised. Xia, you that perceptive? He had never told Xia that Chao liked Shui Yinxin, yet she had figured it out on her own. MHM, Xiam Yuman tilted her head slightly. Congratulations to Ning Wuchao. Just like the little tortoise from their third year of high school, he's finally grown eyes. Ning Wuchao sent another message. After glancing at it, Wei Bai looked up and smiled. Chao, I want me to bring you along. Xiam Yuman, Wei Bai, Classmate Xia was being mischievous again, even imitating the way he spoke. Wei Bai, he said Xin Wei Yuan and Wan Rong are also going. Xiam Yuman nodded. Okay. Wei Bai chatted with Ning Wuchao for a few more moments, then said, let's ask Zuozua and Sun Xiuxiu to come along too. Is Xiao Xia done with her exams? If she is, let's call her too. And then, Xiam Yuman understood, and then asked Shui Yunxin. With more people invited, a certain most important guest wouldn't seem so out of place. Wei Bai smiled. Chao is preparing to spend a fortune. The grilled eel was very fresh, but it was easy to get tired of eating too much. The two of them ate 2 eels and some side dishes like mashed potatoes, and then they were full. Let's take a taxi home and get a good night's sleep. Full and satisfied, the whole body felt comfortable. Wei Bai said lazily, finally done with the exams. Xiam Yuman, shouldn't you be saying, the exams are over so soon? I haven't had enough of them yet. Wei Bai laughed. The exams are over so soon? I haven't had enough of them yet. Xiam Yuman nodded. That's the tone. Wei Bai, Xia, I think the one who hasn't had enough of exams right now is you, isn't it? Xiam Yuman, I've had my fill. She was sure to get first place in her major. Wei Bai smiled. Actually, I've had my fill of the exams, it's just a bit. How should I put it? A sudden feeling of wistfulness. Ah, so freshman year is over just like that. It's that kind of feeling. Xiam Yuman, ending it with a grilled eel meal is quite nice. Wei Bai, you could also say it's ending with a campsite barbecue. Xiam Yuman, campsite barbecue tonight? Wei Bai, it's a venue Zhou Yin recommended, right here in Highland District. He said the atmosphere is great, and there's a band. Xiam Yuman, wow, he's really spending a fortune. She lowered her head to reply to a message. Xiao Xia isn't done yet. She has one more tomorrow. She said it's in the afternoon, so it won't interfere with tonight's plans. Wei Bai, excellent. Xiam Yuman, so, did Ning Wuchao successfully invite Shui Yinxin? Wei Bai laughed. If he hadn't, tonight wouldn't be a campsite barbecue. It'd be a food stall outside the school. Xiam Yuman laughed too. I'm suddenly experiencing the joy Xiao Xia feels, she said. Wei Bai, what joy? Xiam Yuman, gossiping about others, shipping other people's pairings. Wei Bai savored the thought. I think I'm starting to get it too. Dorm 411. After setting the plans for the night, Zhou Yin tossed his phone aside and fell asleep. Pan Kong was also asleep. Only Ning Wuchao was still chatting with Shui Yinxin. He talked about Qin Mao for a while, cursed Qin Mao's competitors for a bit, and then finally brought up tonight's gathering. Shui Yinxin, why the sudden big treat? Did you win the lottery? Ning Wuchao, I have a feeling I'll be happy tonight. Shui Yinxin, a feeling? Shui Yinxin, can happiness be predicted? Ning Wuchao, MHM, well, at least today it can. Shui Yinxin, fine, I don't get the way you young people think. Shui Yinxin, anyway, as long as there's food for me, that's all that matters, ha ha ha. Ning Wuchao, Zhou Yin said it's delicious. Shui Yinxin, Is there anything Zhou Yin doesn't find delicious? As they chatted, the corners of Ning Buichao's mouth curved up unconsciously again. He lay on his side on the bed, looking forward to every message that would pop up in the chat box. Even just a few words or a single sticker would make him incredibly happy. But Shui Yinxin was very busy. After chatting with him for a few minutes, she went back to work. He knew that Shui Yunxin had started working immediately after her last exam yesterday, and she wasn't planning on going home for the summer break, working full-time instead. Ning Buichao thought he had to go home for a trip, a week at most, then he would also come back to work. That way, they could work together again. As he thought about it, Ning Buichao fell asleep. He woke up to his 5 o'clock alarm. Ning Buichao got up, washed his hair, took a shower, styled his hair, and changed his clothes. His hair was styled into fluffy, woolly curls, and his outfit, chosen by Zhou Yin, consisted of a simple but high-quality cream-white plain t-shirt and dark blue straight-leg loose jeans. While he was blow-drying his hair, Zhou Yin and Pan Kong woke up. Going to confess? Seeing him dressed in different clothes, Zhou Yin flipped over and sat up. Bro, I'll go with you. Pan Kong sat up too. Where's the confession happening? Ning Buichao glanced at the time. It was already 5:30. At the entrance of Teaching Building 4, Ning Buichao said, she finishes her exam at 6 and will come out from there. Zhou Yin found it a bit strange. Then why are we hurrying? This is the last confession. Is the venue set up? Where are the flowers? The balloons? Ning Buichao didn't answer that, saying instead, I haven't seen Sister Cece since I changed my hairstyle and clothes. Zhou Yin, so you were waiting for today, huh? Ning Buichao nodded. Yeah. He also hadn't seen Shui Yunxin after changing his hairstyle and clothes. So, he was waiting for today. Zhou Yin, all right, stop wasting time. Let's get a move on, or we'll be late. Seeing how unhurried Chauer was, he figured he must have hired someone to set up the venue. But for such an important confession, they definitely had to go check on it. What if the candles were arranged poorly, the balloons weren't inflated, or the flowers weren't pretty? Wouldn't Song Liuxi's expression sour immediately? Zhou Yin put on his shoes, pulled Pan Kong along, and pushed Ning Buichao out of the dorm room. As the three passed by Cafeteria No. 3, Ning Buichao said he wanted to go in and buy a milk tea. Zhou Yin, what's with drinking milk tea at a time like this? I don't want any. Ning Buichao, it's for Sister Cece. With that, Ning Buichao entered the cafeteria. Zhou Yin looked at Pan Kong, puzzled. Why is Chauer calling Song Liuxi sister again? Didn't he switch to calling her Cece? Pan Kong gave a simple smile. It's a lover's thing. He sometimes called Rong Rong's sister in private too. Ning Buichao came out quickly, carrying a single cup of milk tea. I didn't get any for you guys, Ning Buichao said. Don't want to spoil your appetite for the barbecue tonight. Zhou Yin stared at the single cup of milk tea, feeling even more puzzled. Chauer, you didn't buy any for Song Liuxi's roommates? Ning Buichao, I stopped doing that a long time ago. A grin immediately spread across Zhou Yan's face. That's more like it, Pan Kong. Don't you also order 4 cups whenever you get milk tea for Xinyu Yuan? Zhou Yin, yep, I order 4. My Yuan can drink them herself if she wants, give them to her roommates if she wants, or even pour them out if she doesn't want them. My Yuan also orders milk tea for me, for cups too. The more Zhou Yin spoke, the more smug he became. My Yuan also buys me clothes, shoes, and a camera. My Yuan said she's taking me on a trip during summer break. Chauer, is it hot in Yunqing in the summer? My Yuan really wants to go to Yunqing. The topic had drifted. Pan Kong thought that Ning Buichao would only have the confession on his mind right now and wouldn't want to answer the question. Unexpectedly, Ning Buichao not only answered, but he answered in great detail. It's not hot overall, but the UV rays are very strong, so you have to be careful with sunscreen. In nearby places like Jingxiu, Dali, and Fuxian, the temperature usually doesn't exceed 25 degrees. Where's your home? Zhou Yin asked. Ning Buichao, my home is right in Yunqing City. Yunqing is great for escaping the summer heat. The highest temperature in summer is only about 20 degrees. Zhou Yin said happily. Then I'll come visit you. Ning Buichao, I'm planning to go home for a week and then come back to work. Zhou Yin was shocked. Hasn't the meeting been held yet? When did Sister Qian give that order? I want to come back myself, Ning Buichao explained. There's nothing to do at home, so I'd rather come back to work. Zhou Yin was in a daze. What day is it? And who is this person next to me? Since when did Chower evolve into Wei Bai? As they spoke, Teaching Building 4 came into view. In the square in front of Teaching Building 4, there was nothing besides a few people pulling suitcases towards the various gates. Zhou Yin and Pan Kong were both stunned. Where are the flowers? The balloons? It was already 5:55. How could there be nothing at the venue? How was he supposed to confess like this? Ning Buiqiao very calmly pointed to the milk tea in his hand. There's a cup of milk tea. Zhou Yan's eyes were filled with horror. Chower, even though I don't really approve of this marriage, you can't act out of spite. This is the 99th time. You're at the final step. You have to pull yourself together. This won't work. Quick, send Song Liuxi a message and tell her the confession is an hour later. Ning Buiqiao, I didn't tell her I was going to confess today. Zhou Yan froze. Didn't you always discuss your previous confessions with her beforehand? The location, the theme, the time, even who would be present. It was all requested by Song Liuxi, and Ning Buiqiao complied. Now that it was finally the last time, why switch to a surprise mode? Would Song Liuxi even fall for that? Obviously not. Could it be that Chower thought the confession would fail and decided to just give up and let it all go to ruin? Pan Kong also thought this was a bad idea. Chower, if you do this, the previous 98 times will all have been for nothing. How could they be for nothing? Ning Buiqiao smiled. I'm grateful for this process. Grateful for this process, for letting him see clearly that Song Liuxi didn't like him at all. Also grateful for this process, for letting him gradually find himself. Now Zhou Yin and Pan Kong understood even less, until they saw Wei Bo appear in the square. Wei Bo, Zhou Yin said anxiously, come and talk some sense into Chower. This kid is crazy. He's going to confess with a cup of $9.99 milk tea. Wei Bo pulled Zhou Yin with one hand and Pan Kong with the other, pulling them away. Stop getting in the way, Wei Bo smiled. Don't you know Chow? You must have thought it through before doing this. Zhou Yin, damn, do you know something? Chower told you, but not me. Wei Bo, I guessed it myself. Pan Kong looked confused. Guessed what? Wei Bo, guessed that Chower doesn't want the confession to succeed. Zhou Yin, nonsense. Chower spent a fortune on a celebration banquet tonight. Wei Bo, that's to celebrate a farewell, to celebrate a new beginning. Zhou Yin, wait. Zhou Yin also considered himself a little prince of the dating scene, having been around the block. Hearing Wei Bo say this, he suddenly understood. I was wondering why he's been so strange lately. Zhou Yin was ecstatic. He's figured out and is going to give up on Song Liuxi? Not give up, Wei Bo said, but let go. Zhou Yin, it's the same thing. Wei Bo, yes, it's the same thing. Pan Kong still didn't understand. Why give up? Isn't this the 99th time? Zhou Yin started to act knowledgeable. You don't understand. It's precisely because it's the 99th time that it's time to give up. Pan Kong still didn't quite get it. Falling in love was such a simple thing. Why make it so complicated? He couldn't understand. At the entrance of the 4th teaching building, people walked out in 2s and 3s. A few minutes later, Wei Bo and the other two saw Song Liuxi walking with her roommates. They were talking and walking towards the dormitory, seemingly not noticing Ning Buiqiao standing in the square with the milk tea. It was Song Liuxi's closest roommate who tugged at her and pointed to Ning Buiqiao. Zhou Yin, what are they saying? Pan Kong, is that Ning Buiqiao? Zhou Yin, Kong, you can read lips? Pan Kong, just a guess. Zhou Yin. Pan Kong was one of the most amazing people Zhou Yin had ever met. His IQ and EQ were incredibly high in some aspects and incredibly low in others. Pan Kong said this was because different environments nurture different people. Zhou Yin couldn't understand. But Pan Kong was clearly right. Because Song Liuxi was walking towards Ning Buiqiao. Why did you only buy 1 cup of milk tea? Song Liuxi asked. Ning Buiqiao handed her the milk tea. I got a new haircut. Song Liuxi took the milk tea. She was still angry, but she had to admit that the new hairstyle suited Ning Buiqiao well. I see, she said. Why the sudden thought to change your hairstyle? Ning Buiqiao smiled. It wasn't sudden. I've been thinking about it for a long time. He had been thinking about making a change for a long time. Song Liuxi held the milk tea, inserted the straw, and took a sip. This isn't from the cafeteria, is it? She glanced at the bottom of the cup. It really is from Cafeteria 3. The milk tea here is undrinkable. As soon as she said it, Song Liusi regretted it a little. She shouldn't have been so annoyed. But for some reason, recently, whenever she saw or even heard Ning Buochao's name, she would feel restless. It was as if something she didn't know was happening, and something she cared about was disappearing. What was it? She hadn't figured it out yet. So she became more and more impatient, more and more irritable, more and more panicked. This annoyance even made her unwilling to accept Ning Buochao's changes. Yes, he had changed his hairstyle, his style of dress, and his glasses. He was more upright, better looking. Song Liusi should have been happy about this. But she wasn't happy at all. She only felt that Ning Buochao's changes made her flustered. At this moment, he stood before her like a complete stranger. Jia. Ning Buochao looked at her and said seriously, I used to really like you. Song Liusi froze, as if suddenly sealed in a world of ice and snow. Ning Buochao continued, actually, today is my 99th confession. I originally wanted to say I like you to you one last time. I knew you would reject me. I was waiting to be rejected by you. Every time I was rejected, my heart felt as if a piece was being filled. Not lost, but filled. It's strange, isn't it? I think it's because I was gradually letting go of you and gradually accepting and liking myself. So, the last confession is like the last piece of a puzzle. I looked forward to its arrival, just like I looked forward to the completion of a puzzle. But I think that wouldn't be fair to you. I think I should be honest. So, Sister Cece, I want to tell you, I don't like you anymore. Sister Cece, I already don't like you anymore. Ning Buochao never knew he could say so many heartfelt words to Song Liusi at once. After he finished, he felt incredibly relieved. This must be what it feels like to truly let go. Ning Buochao thought. He had actually been malicious before. He wanted to use a grand performance to make her intoxicated. Then, he would vaguely withdraw, leaving her full of regret. He wasn't a saint, so how could he not have had such thoughts? It's just that. Song Liusi just didn't like him. Not liking him, what kind of mistake was that? Besides being malicious towards him, Song Liusi was still the outstanding and beautiful Song Liusi. Truly letting go meant not even being willing to be malicious towards her anymore. After letting go, Ning Buochao smiled as if he were facing an old friend. Sister Cece, he smiled goodbye. After speaking, without waiting for Song Liusi to reply, he turned and left. Before turning, he even nodded to Song Liusi's roommates as a greeting. Actually, Song Liusi's roommates were all pretty good people. Many times, he had heard the roommate, named Xin trying to persuade Song Liusi. Be nicer to him. Don't be like this, Song Liusi. Stop throwing your princess tantrums. With such roommates by her side, even if she lost a follower brother like him in her life, Song Liusi probably wouldn't be too sad, right? Goodbye, Sister Cece. From now on, you'll just be an older sister I know. Ning Buochao walked over to his roommates. Zhou Yin was extremely anxious. What did you say? Weibo wouldn't let him go over, so he didn't hear a single word. I said I don't like her anymore. Ning Buochao said honestly, it wasn't really a confession, more like a farewell. Zhou Yin and Pan Kong were shocked. You really gave up? Ning Buochao nodded. Really? If you don't like someone, you just don't. Although there was still a bit of melancholy in his heart, he knew clearly that he had completely, thoroughly stopped liking her. Weibo smiled. Congratulations. Let's go. Xia and his dorm mates are also getting ready to leave. Ning Buochao was in an excellent mood. Let's go. Zhou Yin was also in an excellent mood. Let's go. For some reason, Pan Kong also felt particularly happy. Let's go. The four of them, with their arms around each other's shoulders, walked towards the east gate. Suddenly, they heard a familiar voice from behind. It wasn't Song Liusi, but Xiao Xia. Bye-bye. What are you guys doing here? The four of them turned around at the sound. They saw Shui Yunxin standing next to Xiao Xia. Weibo suddenly felt the joy of shipping a couple that his classmate Xie had mentioned at noon. To meet under such circumstances, it must be fate. Just something. Weibo answered Xiao Xia with one sentence, then smiled. How are you two together? We met in the academic building, Xiao Xia grinned. Let's go, time for a big meal. By the way, Chower, why are you suddenly treating everyone? Ning Buochao smiled lightly. I've been doing well lately, in a good mood. Wow, Xiao Xia said with a sincere expression. Congratulations. Shui Yanxin also smiled. Congratulations, congratulations. Ning Wuchao looked at Shui Yanxin. Senior sister, is your bag heavy? I can carry it for you. Shui Yanxin, no need. It's not heavy at all. For people became six, laughing and chatting as they walked towards the school gate. After walking a few steps, Shui Yanxin turned her head and glanced at Song Liusi, who was standing there in a daze. Actually, she had seen Song Liusi when she first arrived. What has happened? Why did Song Liusi look a little off? And Ning Wuchao was treating so many people to a meal, but he didn't invite Song Liusi? Was that normal? Whatever, as long as there's food and fun. Shui Yanxin turned her head back and continued talking to Xiao Xia. I came back to school this afternoon to meet the president of Chun Mao Haking's fan club. Don't worry, the fan club is already being established, and the presidents are very capable. Xiao Xia nodded vigorously. I want to join a fan group too, to support Chun Mao. Chatting, they walked further and further away. At the entrance of the 4th academic building, several roommates surrounded the dazed Song Liusi, each one more anxious than the last. What on earth happened? What did Ning Wuchao say? Cici, say something. Cici, how about we go back to the dorm first and talk? The roommates spoke one after another, but Song Liusi didn't hear a single word clearly. In her ears, before her eyes, were only the words Ning Wuchao had just said. I don't like you anymore. I don't like you anymore. She felt her throat tighten. Then her nose tingled. Tears fell like a broken string of beads. Ho Xinxin suddenly realized something, her eyes widening in an instant. Then she hurriedly fumbled for a tissue from her bag and handed it to Song Liusi. Go on and cry. Cry it out. You'll feel better after you cry. The other two roommates looked at her in surprise. Then they suddenly understood something. Although it was not clear what Ning Wuchao had said, Song Liusi's appearance definitely meant she had been dumped. One of the roommates was particularly angry and immediately wanted to chase after Ning Wuchao to curse him out. What was all that talk about loving Cici forever and confessing to Cici 99 times to prove his determination? What is this? The other roommate pulled her back. All right, that's enough. How did it suddenly come to this? Weren't things fine before? Ho Xinxin didn't say anything. In fact, how could it be sudden? It was just that the disappointment had accumulated to the point of breaking a person. She looked ahead at the backs of the group of people. Ning Wuchao was no longer the Ning Wuchao in Song Liusi's words, the one for whom Song Liusi is the whole world. Song Liusi was still crying. Her sobs were muffled and urgent, tears streaming down, her shoulders trembling uncontrollably. She wanted to speak, but she couldn't get a single word out. She only felt a tightness in her chest, a pain, an unbearable feeling. Crying and crying, she couldn't even stand steadily, and leaned her whole body against her roommate. Chapter 482. Is there still one more chance? Cici, don't cry anymore. It's not like you liked him that much anyway. That's right, Cici. There's so many guys chasing you. That senior in the 3rd year is quite handsome, and he can play the guitar. And that handsome guy from the street dance club, he's definitely interested in you. Song Liusi leaned blankly against her roommate. After crying for a long time, it seemed as if her tears had run dry. But her chest still ached as if a cold wind was squeezing into the cracks of her bones. It hurt so much. It was as if the hands that had been supporting her had suddenly let go, as if the ground beneath her feet had suddenly split apart. She seemed to sink into a void, to fall into an abyss. Opening her eyes, there was only nothingness. She wanted to speak, but her throat felt as if it was choked by something. She could only continue to lean weakly against her roommate. The tears flowed again. She thought. She finally knew what Ning Wuchao's real change was. It turned out that he didn't like her anymore. He didn't like her anymore. How could he not like her anymore? She had already thought it all out. She would agree to him on his 99th confession. But he said this was the 99th confession. How could this be the 99th time? Even if it was counted as a confession, it was only the 98th time. There was still one more chance. There must still be one more chance. He promised her he would confess 99 times. He would definitely complete it. Ning Wuchao was treating them to a meal, and he even reimbursed the taxi fare. Xiao Xia exclaimed, "Rich bro." and got into the same car as Shui Yunxin and Ningbo Chao. When she got in the car, she still felt that something was not quite right. She thought that way by, I should have been the one to get into the same car with them. Later, when she heard Ningbo Chao, who was sitting in the passenger seat, chatting enthusiastically with Senior Shui, who was sitting next to her, Xiao Xia finally realized. These two were very familiar. That's right, these two were now both working for Wei Bai, so it was normal for them to be familiar. After a while, Xiao Xia gradually noticed that something was not right. Was Ningbo Chao a person who talked this much? No, right? Wasn't he very shy? So Xiao Xia took out her phone and sent a message to Liao and Nan. Xiao Xia, I've discovered a new budding romance. Nan Iliao, spill. Xiao Xia, do you still remember Ningbo Chao? Bai Bai's roommate. Nan Iliao, the one with the bowl cut? I remember. Xiao Xia, he doesn't have a bowl cut anymore. He has curly hair, and it looks quite good. Nan Iliao, isn't he the famous simp at High University? The 99 Confessions, it's like a movie. Xiao Xia, it's not about the 99 Confessions. I think he has a thing for my former department head, Sister Yunxin. Nan Iliao, how so? Xiao Xia, didn't I tell you that someone is treating us tonight? The one treating is Ningbo Chao. Xiao Xia, he invited his dorm, Man's dorm, and me, and also Sister Yunxin. Nan Iliao, 2 dorms is quite normal. You're the extra one. Xiao Xia, how am I extra? I'm also an unofficial member of Man's dorm. Xiao Xia, the only strange one is Sister Yunxin. Nan Iliao, can't he just have a female friend? Xiao Xia, the two of them were talking in the car. They were probably chatting. Nan Iliao, can't he just have a female friend he can talk to? Xiao Xia, I can't explain it to you clearly. Xiao Xia, if you were here, you would understand. The atmosphere is not right. Nan Iliao, Xia Xiaodang, well, I had a crush on you back then. Why weren't you this sensitive? Xiao Xia, Nan Iliao, don't be sarcastic with me. Nan Iliao, how am I being sarcastic? Xiao Xia, you're being sarcastic. Nan Iliao, all right then, I am. Xiao Xia was satisfied, but Xiao Xia was too lazy to type anymore, planning to properly hash things out with Nan Iliao when they video called that night. Inside the rideshare car, even though there were 3 people in the car, Xiao Xia didn't have much of a role. As a social terrorist, Xiao Xia rarely encountered such a situation. Actually, it wasn't that she couldn't get a word in. She just didn't want to. She was like totally shipping them. The campsite was quite far from the school. When the car stopped, half the sky was already dyed golden by the setting sun. Wei Bai got out of the car and saw Ningbo Chao, Shui Yunxin, and Xiao Xia getting out as well. Little Turtle, where are you? Classmate Xia, 5 minutes from the destination. Little Turtle, I'll wait for you at the entrance. Classmate Xiem, Wei Bai looked up and spoke to Ningbo Chao. You guys go in first, I'll wait here for classmate Xia. Zhou Yin, I'll wait here for my Yunyun too. Ningbo Chao, then we'll head in first. Zhou Yin, campsite number 2 is booked. The spot is excellent, go on. The group walked into the campsite. Xiao Xia, wow, this is so romantic. A lawn campsite barbecue. The lights are amazing. Shui Yunxin was also surprised. Chower, if you don't have money for the trip home, let me know. I'll lend you some, but you have to pay it back. If Xiao Xia had said this, Ningbo Chao might have just laughed it off. But with Shui Yunxin saying it, Ningbo Chao felt he had to explain, I have money. Shui Yunxin, that's great then. I'm going all out with my eating today. Xiao Xia, I'm going all out too. Ningbo Chao smiled. It's a buffet. You definitely should go all out. Behind them, Wan Rongrong and Pan Kong were also excited. Wan Rongrong whispered to Pan Kong, this is my first time having a barbecue at a place like this. Pan Kong scratched his head. When I start making money, we'll come here often. Wan Rongrong, okay. Pan Kong looked at her, smiling simple-mindedly. Shortly after they walked in, someone came out to greet them. Learning that they had booked a spot in advance, a staff member led them to site number 2. It was the first spot on the right in the front row, directly facing the sunset. There were only 2 tables in this row, both extra long, as if many camping tables had been pushed together. The chairs were also comfortable-looking camping chairs. There were several meters between the tables, separated by a canopy, offering excellent privacy. Xiao Xia, this spot is amazing. To be able to see the unobstructed sunset, it was perfect. The weather is great today, too. Shui Yunxin said, looking at the afterglow lit up by the setting sun and letting out a deep breath. It's been a long time since I've seen a sunset like this. The group sat in the camping chairs, watching the sunset and the afterglow. Shui Yunxin happened to be sitting next to Ning Buqiao. Ning Buqiao felt that the sunset was beautiful, and so was the person next to him. A little while later, Wei Bai and the others arrived, carrying a cake. There's cake. Xiao Xia jumped up. Whose birthday is it? It's nobody's birthday, right? Wei Bai put the cake down. But today is worth celebrating. That's true, Xiao Xia agreed. Such a beautiful sunset, such a beautiful afterglow, and you've all finished your exams. It's definitely worth a good celebration. Only little old me, Xiao Xia, has one exam left, but it's no big deal. I'll definitely pass. Sun Xiao, wow, you came out to have fun before you even finished your exams. Xiao Xia tilted her head up. Although I, Xiao Xia, got in a high university with a low score, our nursing major's cutoff scores are all pretty low. I'm still an average student. Zwa nodded like a chick pecking at rice. Even upper middle. She had seen Xiao Xia's report card from the last semester and could vouch for her. Xiao Xia held her head even higher. Did you hear that? Upper middle. Sun Xiao was thoroughly amused by her. Siam Yuman casually tapped her on the back of her head. The dozen or so people sat down, laughing and joking, couples sitting with couples, and good friends with good friends. As a result, Shui Yunxin was seated with Xiao Xia on one side and Ning Buqiao on the other. Across from them sat Wei Bai and Siam Yuman. Shui Yunxin. Bosses, let's agree first. How about no work talk today? Zhou Yin immediately shouted. No work talk. None. Sun Xiao. Right, no work talk. Oh God, she still owed the company lyrics for 2 songs. Wait, who said anything about talking about work? Wei Bai immediately expressed. No talk, absolutely no talk. After a few more words, they started going in groups to get skewers. Zhou Yin was quite reliable when it came to choosing restaurants. The meat looked very fresh, the skewers were neat and appealing, and there was a wide variety, including the beef and rib skewers that Wei Bai loved. Wei Bai got some skewers and returned to his seat to find 5 small barbecue grills on the table, along with a dozen or so bottles of craft beer. Their beer is pretty good too, Zhou Yin said. They only have this one kind of craft beer, an absolute specialty. Wei Bai didn't know much about alcohol and couldn't even tell if it tasted good or not. Doesn't all beer taste the same? Although he couldn't quite distinguish the taste of the beer, he could taste the happiness in it. Drinking with friends was a genuinely happy affair. At this point, the drinking hadn't actually started. Skewers were already being placed on the grills, a few at a time. The grills were small, but the fires were burning fiercely. Wei Bo and Siam Yuman were gathered around one grill, and they too placed their skewers on it. The night grew deeper, and one by one, the string lights all came on. The meat on the grill sent out a fragrant aroma, and occasional sparks flew up with a crackling pop. Wei Bo poured the beer in front of him into a glass. With one full pour, half the bottle was gone. Cheers! Someone shouted at first. Zhou Yin jumped up. Wait, I haven't set up my camera yet. Shen Yuan, hurry up. Zhou Yin set up the camera, found a good angle, and plopped down in his camping chair. With one arm around Shen Yuan and the other holding a beer mug, he called out, Cheers! Cheers! A toast to today. What are we celebrating? Finishing the exam. Right, celebrating the end of an exam. We've passed another hurdle in life. Wow, this is so cold and refreshing. 11 people, 5 grills. Take away the 3 couples, and 5 people were left, sharing 2 grills. In this situation, a 3-2 split was inevitable. Among these 5, Ning Buqiao just had to be the only guy. Who would share a grill with Ning Buqiao? Xiao Xia thought that if there was nothing going on between Shui Yunxin and Ning Buqiao, the groups should have been like this. Xiao Xia with Shui Yunxin and Ning Buqiao with Zwa and Xiao. But everything happened so quietly, so naturally. Xiao Xia didn't even know how it came about, but she was now sharing a grill with Zwa and Xiao. Didn't anyone find this strange? All the other male-female pairings were couples. Only Ning Buqiao and Shui Yunxin. What was their relationship? Xiao Xia sat with a front row seat to the drama, her eyes darting to the side from time to time. Sun Xiao whispered, We have all the same meat they do. So what if ours is a little burnt? No need to keep staring at their food. Xiao Xia. Xiao Xiao, don't you feel like something's off? Sun Xiao Xiao, what? Xiao Xia. Why is Sister Yunxin sitting with Ningbo Chao? Sun Xiao Xiao. Well, they know each other pretty well. Xiao Xia. Why do they know each other so well? Sun Xiao Xiao. They gotta know each other through work. Work? Ugh, never mind that. Let's just eat. Between watching the drama and eating meat, which was more important, Xiao Xia wanted both. Holding a skewer in her hand, her eyes and ears were trained on Shui Yunxin and Ningbo Chao. Wei Bo, sitting opposite her, noticed her actions. Xiao Xia is shipping again, Wei Bo said in a low voice. Simp Yuman. It's a good ship. I'm a fan. No wonder classmate Xia had insisted on sitting across from Shui Yunxin. Turns out she also wanted a front row seat for shipping. The ribs seemed to be done. Wei Bo picked up a skewer, took a bite, and his mouth filled with flavor. He picked up another one and handed it to classmate Xie beside him. They're ready. You can eat. Simp Yuman took a big bite. So delicious. Man, give me a rib skewer. Xiao Xia stared eagerly. Mine are burnt, boo-hoo-hoo. Simp Yuman glanced over. On the grill in front of Xiao Xia, the skewers were either still raw or burnt. The corners of her mouth turned up, her eyes crinkling. No! Xiao Xia flew into a rage and reached out to grab a skewer herself. Wow, so delicious, huh? So Yishuan looked at Xiao Xia, then at the stunned Simp Yuman, paused, and casually reached out her own hand. That pork belly skewer. Smelled so good. Sun Xiao Xiao. Well, I'll take one too. She casually grabbed a fishball skewer. It was cooked perfectly. So delicious. Simp Yuman smiled as she looked at the three of them. Then she turned her smile to Wei Bo. Those three thieves are despicable, and you didn't even try to stop them. Wei Bo could understand classmate Xie's smile, which made him laugh even harder. In truth, the skewers from one small grill were more than enough for two people. Everyone was just playing around. We'll snatch theirs later, Wei Bo vowed. Simp Yuman. Are the things those three cook even edible? Xiao Xia. Who are you looking down on? I'll show you what I can cook right now. Wei Bo barely managed to hold back his laughter. Simp Yuman was also struggling to suppress a smile. The two of them casually ate their skewers while watching Xiao Xia frantically flip hers. I think the beef is ready, Wei Bo said in a low voice. Simp Yuman reached out, grabbed 2 beef skewers, and handed one to Wei Bo. It's not cooked enough. Let's heat it up a bit more before we eat. And she looked at Xiao Xia. Go on, sweetie. Keep at it. Xiao Xia puffs up like a pufferfish in anger. Nearby, Zhouyan let out a huge, mocking laugh. Ha 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 ha. Xiao Xia got even angrier. Shen Yue Yuan, get you man. Shen Yue Yuan, chewing on the 1,000-layer tofu Zhou Yin had just grilled for her, replied, Ha ha ha. Xiao Xia, all right. Everyone's laughing at her, right? Then she won't be polite anymore. Extending her arms, she grabbed one from here and another from there. Ha 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 ha. Xiao Xia laughed as she ate. It smells so good. Once order is lost within a group, then order is lost. In an instant, the table was a chaotic mess. Later, it didn't matter which grill it was. Whoever finished grilling first would have their food snatched away in a flash. Shui Yunxin originally felt she already had the mindset of a working person, very different from the freshman. But tonight, she was laughing heartily, grilling skewers, drinking, snatching skewers, and eating skewers under the night sky and the lights. It feels like I'm young again, she sighed. Ningbo Chao looked at her. Senior, you are already in your youth. Shui Yunxin? Really? I always feel like I'm much older than you all. Only by 2 or 3 years. Ningbo Chao took a grilled sausage from Wei Bo's grill and handed it to her. We are true peers. Shui Yunxin then laughed loudly. Yeah, a difference of 2 or 3 years, of course we're peers. Ningbo Chao handed her a beef skewer and said, We're not exactly the same age, I'm the younger one. Shui Yunxin nodded. Yeah, you're the younger one. Why did she feel like today's conversation was a bit strange? If she had to specify what was strange, she couldn't quite put her finger on it. And Ningbo Chao's tone of voice was also a bit strange. How to put it? Anyway, it was just odd. Was it related to the dispirited Song Liusi? Shui Yunxin was actually quite the gossip, and now that she and Ningbo Chao had become buddies, she just directly asked what was on her mind. Chow, what's going on with you and Song Liusi? Did you have a fight? It doesn't seem like it. Ningbo Chow hadn't expected her to ask this. He had been thinking about how to bring this up with her naturally. Now, Shui Yinxin had asked him directly. Did this mean that she cared about him a little? Or perhaps that she thought they were now good friends who could talk about anything? Whatever the motive, Ningbo Chow was very happy. It wasn't a fight, he said seriously. It was a farewell. I don't like her anymore. Shui Yinxin was shocked. Heavens, Ningbo Chow doesn't like Song Liusi anymore. This was practically headline news, but Shui Yinxin was a bit skeptical. It seems you really did have a fight, Shui Yinxin sighed. They'll make up in a few days. Maybe then, they'll even need everyone's help to pull off that grand 99th confession. Ningbo Chow wanted to be an honest person when it came to relationships. Some things didn't need explaining, but some things had to be explained with absolute clarity. We didn't fight. There's really nothing to fight about. I really don't like her anymore. I've completely let go, and I've already made it clear to her. Ningbo Chow was a very serious and shy person, prim and proper in everything he said and did. He didn't lie, nor did he like to joke. So, this couldn't be real, could it? Ningbo Chow really doesn't like Song Liusi anymore? Tell me about it. Shui Yunxin put on the air of a caring older sister. What happened? How did you suddenly stop liking her? It wasn't sudden. Ningbo Chow was very frank. Actually, my heart had started to waver a long time ago. It's just that letting go of someone always takes time. I feel that only by completely erasing her can it be considered truly not liking her anymore. Shui Yinxin was quite shocked. She never expected that this love-struck Ningbo Chow had his own standards. That's true. Ningbo Chow wasn't a fool. How could he be blind for a lifetime? Giving up now was a good thing. When he came back from summer break, he might be able to happily have a simple campus romance. She filled her cup with alcohol, raised it, and tapped Ningbo Chow's cup. Let's have a drink. We have to drink to this. Congratulations on your new life. Ningbo Chow also filled his cup and clinked glasses with her again. Yeah, congratulations to me on my new life. What new life? Xiao Xiao peeked over. Shui Yunxin said cheerfully. Chower said he doesn't like Song Liusi anymore. Xiao Xiao, wow. So surprising, but she had seen it long ago. Sister Yunxin, you big dummy. Ningbo Chow doesn't like Song Liusi anymore. The one he likes is you. Xiao Xia knew, but Xiao Xia didn't say. Xiao Xia stood up with her cup to liven up the atmosphere. Let's have a toast. To celebrate classmate Ningbo Chow's new life. Cheers! Cheers, cheers! Everyone raised their cups together, clinking them, making crisp sounds. Looking at all these smiling faces, Ningbo Chow suddenly had a feeling of today, I finally know who I am. Only by stepping out of the past did he realize it was a shackle. And his friends had long felt that he was trapped, which is why they were so happy for him at this moment. Today was truly a day worth celebrating. And the fact that so many people were genuinely celebrating with him was something even more worthy of celebration. He chugged half a glass of beer, feeling a refreshing coolness like iced beer spread from his chest and lungs to his brain. After sitting down, everyone started chatting enthusiastically again. Chower, I don't think this is just a celebration for the end of term, Shui Yunxin said, observing the atmosphere and remembering that Ningbo Chow was the one treating. She finally guessed it. This was meant to celebrate a major decision in your life, wasn't it? Whenever she did something right, had a great idea, or like now, guessed the truth, her eyes would shine brightly. Ningbo Chow especially loved seeing her like this, full of spirit and incredibly beautiful. Yes, Ningbo Chow admitted. Life needs a sense of ceremony. Shui Yinxin laughed out loud. Your sense of ceremony is quite special. This kid was actually quite romantic. Who knew which junior schoolmate would be the lucky one in the future? Xiao Xia sat next to Shui Yunxin, her ears perked up, listening to their lively conversation. They were chatting so happily, with so many topics, one after another, without a single awkward pause. Sister Yunxin was amused and couldn't stop laughing. Shipping them. They were already about 80% full, past the stage of fighting over skewers. Xiao Xia ate her skewers slowly while catching Liao Yinan up on the latest relationship gossip. Xiao Xia, it's confirmed that Ningbo Chow likes Sister Yunxin. Sister Yunxin has no idea, but she's on great terms with him. Nan Iliao, This situation is just like ours back then. You have no idea how hard it is to handle. So afraid that one wrong move, and you can't even be friends anymore. Xiaoxia. Ning Buqiao isn't as clumsy as you. Nan Iliao. You should ask him what his IQ is. Want to compare? Xiaoxia. Is IQ the most important thing in a relationship? Nan Iliao. No, the most important thing is being able to rap. Xiaoxia. I think you're asking for a beating. Nan Iliao. Neener, neener, neener. Weibai watched all of this silently. If he wasn't mistaken, Chow'er was currently displaying his peacock feathers for Shui Yunxin, and Xiaoxia was remotely gossiping online with Liao and Nan. And as for him and classmate Xia, because they were sitting opposite them, they got to ship two couples at once. Weibai sighed. Spring is here, and all things are reviving. Xiam Yuman. It's summer now. Weibai. Oh, summer is here, and the little animals are getting restless. Xiam Yuman. What? You're getting restless? Weibai was aghast. Classmate Xie could even handle a line like that. How terrifying. Weibai was not restless. Weibai dare not move. Seeing that everyone was almost done with the skewers, Weibai called for them to cut the cake. Heath and classmate Xie had chosen the cake together. Influenced by classmate Xie, he now loved to buy cakes for various holidays or gatherings to have as dessert after a meal. And it had to be said, with the cake, the meal immediately gained a sense of ceremony. Especially when so many people were sharing the cake together, it gave way by a very happy feeling. Perhaps it was because a sense of ceremony amplifies the joy of the moment. A sense of ceremony enhances the joy of the moment. Ning Buqiao thought that the most important decision he had made today was not saying goodbye to Song Liuxi, but celebrating with everyone tonight. A night like this, friends like these, a Shui Yunxin like this, a hymn like this. Everything was perfect. His phone had buzzed with a special notification tone. It was a message from Song Liuxi. Not a single word, just an angry emoji. Ning Buqiao was familiar with this way of communicating. In the past, whenever Song Liuxi sent an emoji like that, he would immediately reflect on what he had done wrong. Yes, Song Liuxi didn't even have to say a word to make him feel 1,000 pangs of guilt. But now, Ning Buqiao didn't reply. He just turned off the special notification tone. He wouldn't block Song Liuxi, but he wouldn't reply to any more of her messages either. This was a real farewell. Song Liuxi was so smart, she would definitely understand. Chow'er, I still want some cake, but I can't finish a whole piece. Can we share one? Beside him, Shui Yunxin was holding a small knife, about to make another cut on a piece that Weibai had already sliced. Ning Buqiao smiled and nodded. Okay. With one cut from Shui Yunxin, the cake was split in two. Song Liuxi's eyes were swollen from crying. Ho Xinxin didn't know if these were tears of regret or tears of anger. Cici, Ho Xinxin patted her on the back. Why don't you send Ning Buqiao a message and ask again? Song Liuxi clutched her phone tightly. I did. You did. Why are you still crying if you did? Did Ning Buqiao say something harsh again, or did he simply not reply? Maybe Ning Buqiao didn't see the message, Ho Xinxin said. In fact, Ho Xinxin knew that Ning Buqiao had set a special notification tone for Song Liuxi. If he didn't reply, it was either because the special tone was turned off, so he didn't see the message, or he saw it and was deliberately not replying.